Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek. If you're a wrestling fan looking for access to great seats for any wrestling event near you, then you want to use this app. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek stands as the unrivaled #1 ticketing app in the market today. SeatGeek constantly delivers incredible deals on ticket prices. When you're exploring the app, keep an eye out for the special green dots that mark the best deals. What's even better is that every ticket you purchase is backed by SeatGeek's buyer guarantee, with the option to return your tickets and even swap them before the event. So here's an exclusive for you. If you click the link down below and use the promo code JUSTALYX, you can get $20 off your first purchase. Yes, $20 off any ticket that you purchase using the promo code JUSTALYX. This is a sweet deal that you could use literally right now. So don't wait, click the link, download the app, and join the SeatGeek family today.
Entered Alyx's world, a safe space for wrestling fans like you.
When you're
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alyx's World, a safe space for wrestling fans like you. I'm your host, Alyx, just Alyx. Welcome to the end of the year. 2025 has come and gone, and you know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of year again when we take a look at the best of professional wrestling. Now, best believe when I say this was a hard one for me personally. I'm not going to speak for the other crew that we'll introduce in just a second. But man, 2025 for professional wrestling across the board, it was pretty rough. We're not going to do the worst of the year because we'd be here forever. We're only here to talk about the best. And look here, this year had its gems. This year had a lot of great moments, a lot of great matches, a lot of great talent, a lot of great returns. And I want to focus on that particularly. However, we're not going to leave this unsaid. This year might be one of the most forgettable, or should I say, the most years I want to forget ever in professional wrestling history. Now, we'll bring in the other crew, and I'm pretty sure they'll have their thoughts and opinions on 2025. But as always, I want to thank you all for making me a part of your day. If this is the first time you're watching me, do me a solid favor, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Wow, your edit help expand the brand by doing the following things. Join the membership, click that join button, and get the opportunity to request a video of your choosing, whether it's a live reaction, a hot topic, or a review, past, present, or future. Also, don't forget to give thanks. Hit that super thanks if you would like to donate after the fact. You can also like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter at just Alyx Central. Give me a follow on Instagram, give me a follow on Spotify, give me a follow on Cameo, give me a follow on Threads. Follow us on Discord, follow me on Blue Sky, where the skies are clearer. Give me a follow on TikTok, for I am the tickest of the talkest. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo. Yes, the International Super Chat is on the line. The International Super Chat Championship will be defended tonight. Whoever donates the most money will walk out the champion, and we'll get to defend it weekly. Be careful. They be sharks in these waters. But yes, donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, Venmo, and Super Chats are officially on. Don't forget to get yourself a t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees and Teespring. Are you a Just Alyx guy? Get you a Just Alyx t-shirt wherever you may be. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep them waiting too long. You know how we do things here in Alyx's World. Whenever we have a big event, I got to bring in the crew. I got to bring in the coalition. So everyone, please help me welcome to the stage A and B Convos, the premier reaction channel here in the YouTube space, A and B Convos Wrestling Edition. And the man with the plan, Steven Sandridge, a.k.a. Marked by Wrestling.
And this is A&B Convo's Wrestling Edition.
Yeah. The boys are back in town.
Whoop, whoop. That's what I'm talking about. You know, I had to go ahead and get well dressed for this. I had to put on my suit and tie. Talking about my suit and tie. Oh, little Justin Timberlake for you. You know, we had to do what we had to do over here, man, because we wanted to make sure that we did this right now. I do want to apologize. B is having a little bit of an allergy attack issue. She said that she will pop in as soon as possible, so I'm going to have to hold it down for the A and B crew.
How we doing over there, Marked by Wrestling?
Oh, it's a special occasion, you know, so Big Gold has to adorn the shoulder of Marked by Wrestling. Honestly, it's a little cold in the house too. It helps keep me warm because you bleed, you sweat, and you pay the price.
Oh,
sorry. I am prone to flare outbursts when wearing Big Gold. So
I can understand.
Just warning everybody now. Woo!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen.
Happy to be here, though. Thank you so much for the invite.
Oh, as always, and I gotta give them their props while they're here, ladies and gentlemen. That right there is A. He's standing tall. He's looking good. He ought to be in Hollywood, even though she's not here. She'll eventually show up. His girl B. She's got style. She's got finesse, better than all the rest. And of course, the man with the plan, the wrestling historian, marked by wrestling. Let's get the stumping for these people because A&B Combos hit a milestone in 2025. Congratulations, 50,000 subscribers. Incredible achievement. Not quite the 100K, no offense, but there's always next year and the year after that and the year after that. Y'all grew really fast this year. Y'all came from, what was it, 30K to 50? Hey,
we came from zero. We had started. We talked about this. We had the channel A&B Combos. It was comedy skits and wrestling reviews, and then we split the channels. We had almost 500 subscribers starting with that before we split, and we had to start from zero, literally all over again. And the fact that we reached that milestone, it is not lost on us, and we cannot thank everybody for tuning in and watching. And honestly, a big thanks goes to you, Just Alyx. You took us up under the wing. Okay, you looked around. You were the whale in a pond, and you said, let me see if I can find me some little fish to take up under here and show them how it's done. And we rocked together. You took a chance on us, and it paid off. And it would not have happened without your assistance, sir. So we owe you a debt of gratitude, and we thank you so much. And along the way, we have become brethren. When we say that you are family, we're not just lip servicing it. You are literally our brother from another mother. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you deeply.
That means a lot to me. And I also want to give some love to my boy Mark by Wrestling, who is closing in on 10,000 subscribers. Now, I believe you started this channel this year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Am I
this
correct?
Yeah, freshman year is done for Mark by Wrestling, and we're here. And so with a little bit of YouTube viewing hour discrepancy, I can say with raw data, we have reached our 3,000 hour viewing mark. We just need a little bit extra in the tank, and we might be joining you guys with memberships and chats and all that good stuff. And we won't have to, do the ghetto Cash App stuff when you guys want to support it. Which I am super grateful for all of you who have rocked with me, particularly on Tuesday nights for NXT and all the other special occasions. So we're just getting started, and we just want to keep reminding people that Mark doesn't have to be a dirty word. Mark's wrestling's actually better when we embrace that term.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's about. It's about building community. It's about making others, bringing them up with you, and getting them to a point where they take that extra step and they go far and beyond what you expect. And hopefully you expect them to take you along with them as well. And so far, that's what seems to be happening. Before long, I'm gonna be showing up on A&B Combos' stream talking about, hey guys, come subscribe over here, and me thanking them for giving me their platform. It means a lot to hear this from y'all, and we're gonna keep this going because there's nowhere else to go but up, if you know what I mean. So quick shout out to the Three Kings, if I'm not mistaken. This is someone from your channel. I believe he is one of your champs, if not the champ. Let me give him his bow down to the king. Three Kings says, this crew's graphic in the background is tough. I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that.
Did you see what he did? Did you see us sitting on the man? And we were animated. We were animated. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going through in my personal life, I'm going through a lot. Okay. I'm a raw nerve right now. So when I saw that, it literally brought a tear to my eye. I was so touched by that because it just looks so friggin' cool. And I actually would like us, this one day we will actually recreate that photo in real life, and I cannot wait for that to happen.
It's gonna
With
happen.
a tear in my eye.
Yeah.
I have to give you props. I don't think I've ever seen AI get my beard so accurate. Because there's a lot going on with that. So yeah, I loved it, and it was flattering for a Bronson Reed shaped man that I am. So I appreciate that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And just give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I do seem to be having some technical difficulties. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Sorry
Yes,
about
we
that.
can.
All right.
Loud
Sorry
and
about
clear.
that. We're all good. Now let me go ahead and play the rest of these super chats here. 98% of the time, $5 super chat. Happy New Year. Y'all hope this year has been good for everybody, and this next year is even better. Me too. I really hope things really turn out there. We also have, if I'm not mistaken, the former world champ. As the former world champ says, Happy New Year, everybody. And then 98% of the time, will take the lead with $7. Once again, the international super chat title is on the line. It will soon be just Alyx at 50K as well. Hey, when I get there, I'll get there. It took me 15 years to get to 50K? Took these guys 5. So shows you their trajectory. And I'm only here to aid and, of course, pave the way for them to be just as big, if not better than me. And that makes me very happy. So,
Putting someone over and making a new star is peak professional, Alyx. So hang your hat on that, man. You're far better than a lot of other industry vets. So good for you.
Oh,
Amen.
Be proud of that.
Amen.
Look here, man.
Reach.
I'm privileged and I'm blessed to be able to share this stage with all of you. But let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very curious to know how you guys feel about 2025. And I'm just going to keep it real simple when it comes to me in 2025. See, 2025 was quite the year. We all have our 2025s. Matter of fact, everybody get out your 2025s right now. Go ahead and get your 2025s out and hold them up. Okay? Now hold up your 2025s. All right. So we're going to take our 2025s and we're going to...
Oh,
yep.
Yes.
And then we're going
Stand
to...
up.
Yep.
Like Denzel did in Glory. Tear it up.
One more.
Tear it up.
One more for the road. Yep.
Tear it up.
And then we're going to do one of these right here. Yep.
Please.
We're going
please.
to... I don't have a trash can next to me, but we're just going to pretend it's right over there and go, Kobe. And there it is.
I got my 2025. Hold
We
on.
would have never known that.
That is how I feel about 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I thought this year, in terms of professional wrestling, I won't call it one of the worst, but quite honestly, there's his 2025, ladies and gentlemen. He found his 2025. He's holding it up, and there it goes.
I think
Tear it up.
if it wasn't on TV.
I would.
Love
It's
it. You
all
love it.
over is what I would do, but we're not going to get into all that right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in terms of professional wrestling, this year across the board has not been great for anybody. WWE has had flop after flop after flop. John Cena heel turn, flop. New Day heel run, flop. Oh my goodness. Jay Cargill's babyface run, a flop, and a lot of other things that had a lot of promise that just did not cultivate. And Triple H, I'm sorry, my man, this might be your worst year as head booker, and that's including NXT. Let's hope in 2026 is better. And people are going to say, well, AEW had a great year. AEW was just as what it was in 2024 as it was in 2023. It remained stagnant the same, which I guess would make it better because it didn't get worse. It just remained bad. Sorry. It just remained as bad as it was. So people just feel like it was better because it was consistently subpar, if you will. And then I'm sorry, TNA, NXT, I haven't been watching. Maybe Mark by Wrestling would be able to give me a little bit more on NXT if it had a good year or not, if he wants to talk about that. But yeah, 2025 can kick rocks. I'm very curious to know how your 2025 went. I guess we'll start with you, Mark by Wrestling. What will you remember about this year in terms of wrestling?
2025 was a year that happened. I don't feel so I might be the outlier here. I don't know. I don't think it was an aggressively bad year, probably on any front, but I think it was disappointing for different reasons for different companies. Let's talk about NXT, since that's kind of my wheelhouse out of the three of our channels. NXT and WWE, I guess you could say in TNA too. I'm not so much sure about AEW. Actually, I think had a great year in terms of exposure, being seen by new sets of eyes, getting new opportunities. Like, say whatever you want about how you feel about the ESPN platform or Raw debuting on Netflix. I think Raw going to Netflix, and I think it can't be undersold how long-term changing it can be for wrestling, that there is a wrestling program on that the entire world can watch at the same time now. You have people on other continents and other countries who now don't have to wait until later in the week to see what happened on Raw, and the wrestling world that lives together online at the same time can now be experiencing at least Raw at the same time. Now, whether what they're experiencing or not is a thing that they like is a different discussion. But there are things there. NXT. So anyway, like NXT in general started off really strong, and I think, I don't know who to pin this on, but I think they got in a rush to move a lot of their value up to the main roster. And I'm a little nervous that they're ending the year that way as well. But I'll say this, they've had a lot of quality, and like, I can't ignore the fact that the NXT TNA partnership has increased a lot of stock value for certain people. Like, Joe Hendry wrestled at WrestleMania this year. Like, and showed up on Cena's last Saturday night's main event, by the way. So did Leon Slater. I didn't know who Leon Slater was in January of 2025. And now he's appointment viewing for me. And so we got to see the Hardys wrestle on NXT again. And like, I mean, again, mileage may vary on how much you enjoy those things, but like there were a lot of special things. So like NXT, was it its best year? I think last year was probably a better content in both how they were building their feuds and the quality of the matches, or for those of you who that's more important for. But I wouldn't say NXT specifically that it was a downgrade. And also, like, they got some major additions, Blake Monroe, Ricky Saints, others. I don't want to shortchange anybody else, but like, and also they're really starting to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I also want to emphasize that the good should be included in that, of what their system looks like now, of having the ID people, having the Evolve people. Like, if y'all aren't watching NXT, I'm going to put y'all on game right now about Kendall Gray. She is going to give it 18 months. She's going to be rocking all y'all's world. Like, she's already doing that stuff. And she's the Evolve champion right now. Why she's not a fixture on NXT regularly, I don't know. She's getting there, but whatever. So anyway, their pipeline, if you're already looking, say it's Stephanie Vaquer. She started in NXT at the beginning of the year, and now she's a fixture on Raw. But again, good, bad, and ugly. They jackpotted Stephanie Vaquer. They're fumbling Julia. I don't know why. But also, and one more thing that I think has been special is they are spreading a lot of the love around on WWE's owned or participated properties. So I've been talking about like Julia and Stephanie Vaquer now in the ladder up, but also the two-way street coming back down. Chelsea Green has made waves on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AAA too. WWE has really tapped into what makes AAA special. It is rejuvenated, who allegedly rejuvenated Ludwig Kaiser. I can't know for sure. And
The amigos.
yeah, and has really worked. Yeah, I mean, they're doing special things there, and those people are getting over, and then they're showing up on main roster stuff and getting noticed without having to be educated on who they are. And that is always a big deal. Like Saturday night's main event was a big deal to me when I'd heard 16, 17,000 people grunting along with Oba Femi without having to be educated about it.
Oh my goodness.
Popping for Sol Ruka without needing a video package on who she was. So that's telling me that it's working for the stars. And I didn't even mention Javon Evans, who has been here, there, and everywhere. So like, is it on the whole? Yeah, it was a year that happened. But if you want to take a moment, and this is me just being, Jiminy Cricket, trying to be the positive conscience in the room, I think, because that's kind of my brand on the channel. If you look for it, you will find a lot of special things this year. We got Ilya back, everybody. and he burned down the US title. And by the way, everybody who cried about Carmelo Hayes for 11 months, who's holding the gold now, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
So good things are there.
In him in the beginning, but they have redeemed it, and that's good.
Yeah. And I mean, so all that to say, good things are to be found. You just have to look for them. But also there's bad things to be found, and you don't have to look hard. So, it is what it is.
Mr. Mark by Wrestling, this is for you. 98% of the time, continuing his lead with $12. Mr. Mark by Wrestling, good to meet you, good sir. We are all marks on the same level, and that is okay. Yes, and
yes, sir. That's the philosophy of my channel. Anybody who comes to visit me when we stream, I end every stream by saying, being a mark just means you believe, and believing makes wrestling better. I mean, that made gangbusters out of the Thea Hale Blake Monroe match. Oh, the ref believed in that one, man. He believed that 3 count. We were having a good. If y'all could have seen me in the chat, small as we were like, what? What's just we all like paused. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, man, believing that's what got us all into this in the first place. Let's not forget that. Yeah. Mark's not a dirty word.
Now, 2025, Tay the Savior 123 says was not only the year that wrestling flopped, but television flopped as well. A and B combos. I guess we can start with you, A. How was 2025 for you when it comes to your personal experience with professional wrestling? Was it a good, mid, kind of year for you?
It was a mixed bag for me. I'm all about I've crashed out several times, as you have seen on this channel, for different reasons. We end our show generally saying, let's not get into our feelings about it. At the end of the day, it's just pro wrestling. But I still will crash out when I feel it's necessary, because it's all about the storytelling. And we all go and watch a movie. We have our favorite television show. I'm sure most of us in here have seen Game of Thrones. And, that last season, it was like, I don't even understand. It's like we did with that 2025 sign. It just ripped it up and threw it in the trash. Mm-hmm. When it comes to storytelling, you're on a trajectory and then you just sort of pivot. And so what 2025 ended up being for me, wrestling in all promotions, was like Mark by Wrestling had said, they put shine on things that needed some shine, and I appreciated that. I love the fact that TNA got some shine. I love the fact that AAA got some shine. But what we did see ultimately was WWE saying, listen, kid, we're the juggernaut here. We're going to do this our way. And that in and of itself was a bit of an issue for me. Sometimes their way isn't necessarily the best way. And the storytelling sometimes did suffer as a result. We had stuff that started, didn't finish. It had no mid. It just ended up being mid. AEW, their pay-per-views always hit. I never have an issue with their pay-per-views except the runtime. Their runtime is just, it's out of control. It's out of control. But their weekly shows are just blah. I hate to say it. They're just blah. And I told her the other day, I said, I'm watching it. And I'm like, this is the difference. There's nothing wrong with seeing some good, solid wrestling, but there's a distinct difference between seeing that and WWE. There's an entertainment factor that I usually get with WWE that I don't get with AEW. It's just one match after the other, after the other, after the other. And I want a little more from that. And so I would say 2025 in wrestling in general, pro wrestling was just a mixed bag that I'm kind of grateful to see come to a close. And I just hope and I pray that the lessons that have been learned here for all of them being these promotions, they will learn from this a little bit and we get a better 2026.
How are we feeling, B, about your experience with this past year, 2025?
Okay, so She's
jotting. She's jotting.
I'm jotting. I'm just gonna say a few names. We had Naomi and Bianca give the best daytime soap opera storyline. I mean, these girls had us crying in the ring over this. And Naomi's heel turn. Oh my gosh. And that run. Okay. We got the Lucha Bros coming over here. I mean, we're 1 degree removed from Penta. Like our dogs know him, and like it's just so their hometown for us from Pasadena. And so it's just awesome to see them come over, to see them get in that moment. Oba Femi is like a treasure. He's just a dream. I know that's NXT, but you see he's coming up here.
Oh,
He's just a dream come true. Stephanie Vaquer is like I don't care what, I know that there's haters out there who can't figure it out and get whatever about her, but all she has to do is walk to the ring. She don't even need to fight. Her aura, her attitude, she carries herself as a champion. I don't care if she had a belt or not. She carried herself like she was the one. And I just love, I love like how she's just, but I mean, she's not like a newbie. Like she's been doing this for a long time. Yeah. And we were there when she came out in AEW and then didn't actually come out again. But so in general, like just all the stuff they've been doing. And then Dom, are you kidding me? Dom, his wife, like these belts that, and then let's get over here to the Vision. And not only Paul turning on Roman and CM Punk to go with Seth, and then turning on Seth, but we literally had the Tribal Thief, which is, he was wearing Roman's shoes. Are you kidding me? That was phenomenal. And now they done figured out finally that Austin is the dude that I've been saying they need to bring in from day one. From day one, I said they need to bring Austin over here. They finally figured it out.
She's been down since day one-ish.
Day one-ish. I believe.
A was with you up until that point. He's like, you had me. I was right there with you.
Cut that.
We got the Wyatt family, and then you know what? Let me reiterate the Chelsea Green. Now, Alyx has been down with her from the beginning. You've been a Chelsea Green fan. I just wasn't buying it the first year. I want to talk to the manager thing was like, yeah, okay, whatever, it was fine. But I didn't see it. And now, she is a national treasure. And I really was hoping she would have kept the belt, but she's
champ again. So
yeah.
I'm good.
Technically got it back. So
Canadian excellence.
So anyway, there was a lot of disappointing stuff. Yes, there was. We could always find something negative to say, but I feel like at the end of the day, that stuff that I mentioned just off the top of my head, those are the people that made it worth Miss Parker.
Miss Parker.
Hi, Miss Parker. Yeah.
I'm loving that TNA and NXT are doing this crossover. It's introducing me to people I didn't really know because I don't watch TNA regularly. I know like the big people, but and some of the crossover we're getting with the old WWE people who are interacting through NXT now. I mean, I just Elias is there. I love Elias. So anyway, that's my I feel like it was fine. I feel like
Beautiful.
that there was some downs, but there was ups, and that's what life is, ups and downs.
Beautifully said. And we're here to look at the ups, the best of 2025. And yes, we're going to go ahead and get things started with the first award, the Wrestling News Wrestling Headline of the Year. We had a lot of breaking news from Fightful Select, from PW Insider to Dave Meltzer, Lord have mercy. And
Easy.
$14.99, please.
We're all a little allergic, I know.
Big shout out to all the wrestling news organizations for keeping it real and keeping us up to date. And I'm expecting more for 2026, but there was a lot. Unfortunately, there can only be one. Let's take a look at the wrestling headline of the year.
Welcome to the 2025 End of the Year People's Choice Wrestling Awards. Here are the nominees for the wrestling headline of the year. AJ Lee returns to WWE after a 10-year absence. Hulk Hogan passes away at 71 years old. John Cena taps out in his final match. John Cena turns heel at the Elimination Chamber. And the winner is John Cena turns heel at the Elimination Chamber.
You might want to get used to seeing this a lot on the award ceremony, because as much as we want to talk about the heel turn being a flop, the moment itself is going down in history.
Yep. That night was not a flop, and it was sad that they couldn't carry it through. But that moment, that deserves the award.
And for like how many weeks was that the talk of the town? Leading into WrestleMania, everybody was hot for this. Now, I want to say this before I give the ball over to Mark by Wrestling here and get his thoughts. Any other year, literally any other year, Hulk Hogan passing away would have been the top headline, bar none. I feel like when you have a man that was considered the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling pass away, no matter how we felt about him, and yes, we're not going to get into all the other negative stuff, but that would have easily been the headline of the year. The fact that it happened to happen on this particular year with the heel turn lets you know how big that heel turn is. And I don't know how you guys feel about the results, but Mark by Wrestling, how we feeling about this one, man?
So I want to give one disclaimer. I just want to say it once, so that way when we get through every category, I don't repeat myself. I don't besmirch or judge any of you guys, both current channels included and everybody in the chat, of what your preference is, of what you voted for, and everything. I don't, I'm not going to call you wrong for what you think. But I said this on my channel. I invited A over when we did a review of John Cena's 2025. That heel turn was a wet fart. Literally. It made a whole lot of noise, and all it did was create a big mess.
Wow.
That was the wrong thing, and like that can rock you guys' world all you want, and more power to you.
He said that.
But there ain't no way that the death of the most famous pro wrestler in modern history takes precedence over a Ari Emanuel, Dwayne Johnson, too many cooks in the kitchen desperation move for a viral moment, which I didn't say earlier about what I didn't like about WWE, but I think that's been one of their biggest problems, is they're leaning into hyperbole too much and trying to talk about new era and game changing. And they set all these huge expectations that they can't deliver on because they set fever pitches too high, and then people start fantasy booking and they get disappointed. But I can't think about that moment without thinking about what happened with it. And some people can divorce that moment from the run. But speaking of, the late Hulk Hogan, that man had an industry-defining heel turn. They threw trash in the ring. They didn't throw any trash in the ring when Cody was getting his eardrum busted by a third-rate rapper.
They were cheering.
Because you go to jail now.
Yeah, and so
Can't do
I mean,
that
they
anymore.
threw paper products and stuff. I mean, at the NWO, of course, WCW was a little Wild West. You could get away with some of that stuff back in the day because their security was old. But like Hogan changed wrestling multiple times in his career, like permanently changed wrestling. Like he was the fixture of WrestleMania, and he is the reason the NWO was successful, which created the Monday Night Wars, which lit the fire under Vince McMahon to give us Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and let Shawn Michaels and Triple H run roughshod, which gave us DX. So I'm not telling anyone how they have to feel about Hulk Hogan. I'm not interested in how you feel about Hulk Hogan. I'm not talking about how I feel about him. But the man changed an industry on 2 separate occasions and has been the face of it. And when he leaves us, that's the most important thing that happened. I mean, that's what I voted for, and that's where I stand on that. And like that went, and honestly, John Cena, more people are talking about John Cena tapping out than turning heel now. So how important was it really? More people were dying to love him in the second half of that year than trending on Twitter for a weekend. I mean, I just think it was a short-term investment, or like a short-term result. I can't think of the phrase I'm saying, but anyway, if that was your moment, more power to you. But it's not even in the same universe as Hogan dying for me.
And this year got people feeling like this when it comes to John Cena. Johnny 718 Bravo, $2. I am done with WWE. It shows in games. All of it. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're not done with us. We appreciate you for making me a part, and us a part of your day, Johnny Bravo. Getting into A and B, let's get your thoughts. Let's go with you, B. Now, when you look at this category, this won by 65% of 1,000 votes. So it's by far and away the most talked about thing. Do you agree with this as the winner?
Well, yes, but I'm wondering if you were to, like, if you chat GBT this, what actually went the most viral at the time? Like, actually, I'm curious about this one. I think that for me, I can separate a moment and like, just like if I'm watching a movie, I could say, oh my gosh, the scene was so great. Like, this scene was great. Movie was crap, but scene was great. Like, I could still do that. Like, a moment is a moment. I don't think a moment is the whole thing. So to me, I think that his heel turn, because it was so brutal, and so many people, even though there was rumors of it, really didn't think he would do it, even though he's been a heel in the past, but everyone forgets stuff like that. But I think if we checked it, it probably would be the most viral moment, like just a little bit past the others though. But I don't think that AJ Lee is actually in the category with the other stuff, really. I think I think that her coming back was a big deal, but not big deal to what those other options were.
Okay. All right.
I think you're right, B.
Get in a minute. Wow.
Well, I guess you got
how much
AJ?
was her vote, Alyx? What did she get?
Let me get that for you. Well, I get that for B. What do you think about the winner of this category, A? Do you agree or disagree?
Well, let me tell you something, dude. I was up there clanging and banging with John the Baptist and Mary Magdalene Jack. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I got to be honest with you. I really kind of agree with Mark by Wrestling. I think I understand the reasoning behind it. It's a decent category. The fact that AJ Lee did come back after a 10-year absence, I mean, that was a big deal. But considering the fact that they decided to announce John Cena's retirement last year and they gave him this whole retirement tour, and it was essentially the focal point of WWE, and everybody else was just sort of a supporting cast. I mean, let's just keep it real. It was a John Cena, it was a John Cena tour, it was a John Cena year. So I understand why that came out on top. I do feel like it is, and I really wish that I could get like demographics on who actually cast these votes age-wise. Were these people that were alive during the Monday Night Wars? Did they see the Hogan turn in real time? Because it was earth-shattering. There were certain moments in professional wrestling that really did change and shape the industry. And the reality is the Hulk Hogan heel turn, when that occurred, who was the third man? And it really was in such a way that time, it really almost did put WWE out of business. I mean, that almost happened. Eric Bischoff's podcast to this day is called 83 Weeks. I mean, that happened. And they were this close. And I don't know what these awards would look like if that had actually taken place.
Right.
But I understand I hesitate to say the short-sightedness of it. I don't want to say that. I know it's more I don't know, relative or it's closer to people now because we had what we had this year. So I understand the thought behind it. Looking at the category, I will say I will agree with the category choice, looking at these nominees, but in an overall arcing way, I will agree with what Mark by Wrestling said.
Wow. So Hogan passing away was your moment or your headline of the year, is what you're saying here.
Yeah, and I think it's really unfortunate because Hogan's the end of his career being marred by controversy and so many other wrestlers and people coming out speaking on him. And like she was saying, it's hard for people to separate the man from the character. Hulk Hogan versus Terry Bollea. It was Terry Bollea that did all these things, and Terry Bollea that would do behind the scene dealings, and he's the one that snitched to the boys in the back. He did all that. The further Hulk Hogan, to put Hulk Hogan in a certain way and in a certain light. But I mean, it was Hulk Hogan, and without Hulk Hogan being who he was, really helping put the WWF on the map, putting professional wrestling on a map in a way that it really hadn't happened, in a way that McMahon at that time was like, we're going to go global. You're going to be the face of this. And it happened, and it worked. And considering how many times Hogan and Andre actually wrestled each other prior to WrestleMania 3, and they were still able to market it like it had never happened before, it was incredible. And we're still talking about it to this day. I don't know that we will be talking about the John Cena heel turn without talking about the aftermath of that and how they fumbled that, and it just it like Hogan, it kind of sort of muddled what could have been an otherwise decent heel run.
Now, B, to answer your question, AJ Lee came in with 20% of the 1,000 votes. So that's around 200 votes, if I will. Yeah, not bad. So people thought it was definitely a headline of the year. I think ultimately, when it's all said and done, I agree with what the people chose. I'm going to remember this year for the heel turn, as well as the flop that followed. But Hulk Hogan, like I said, any other year, 100%, that would have been the one we were talking about the most. Like Bray Wyatt passing away in 2023 and so on and so forth. I am beyond just still heartbroken about that moment. It still stays with me to this day. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt, by the way. But yeah, that is the first award. We got a couple more to go. We ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is the Breakout Star of the Year. Now, just to recap, last year it was Jacob Fatu. Yeah, I mean, now,
oh yeah,
this year we had quite a list. I had to condense this down to 4. I had 25, at first.
Oh my goodness.
So we're going to see how you guys feel about this one. Let's roll the Breakout Star of the Year.
Here are the nominees for Breakout Star of the Year. Konosuke Takeshita, Oba Femi, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher. And the winner is Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Este es el tiempo ahora, now I'm coming for ya. Ya no pueden conmigo, that's why I'm coming for ya. Yo no paro, yo sigo, now I'm
Massive win for Dominic Mysterio. What a year it's been for him. Not only did he end the year as a two-time Intercontinental Champion, beating John Cena at Survivor Series, by the way, he is also still your AAA Mega Champ. I gotta be honest with you. It was quite the list. If anyone's gonna win, it would definitely be Dominic Mysterio. I love this kid. I thought he came a long way from being that nobody, that son that Rey Mysterio brought in and was just giving him that nostalgic run, or not even nostalgic, that nepotistic run. And
Nepotistic run.
And I believe we saw his rise in 2023, that heel turn that no one expected to get as high as it did. And we were always just kind of like, man, like, when are they going to give this guy a championship? Like, I thought he should have won a championship in 2023, honestly, when he first went heel. They waited 2 years, and then he finally won the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And did people boo? No, they didn't. They lost their minds, and he became an overnight sensation. So, look, I'm pretty sure we're going to have people disagreeing with this choice. I don't. I love it. And just to give you guys a number, Dominic Mysterio won this category with 40% of 1,000 votes. So it was close. He just about edged it. But I'm curious to know, let's start with you, B. How are you feeling about the results? Do you agree or disagree?
Oh my gosh. The only other person that I was thinking might get it would be Stephanie. But I mean, you know, when he first was like fighting with his dad, like I was like, okay, whatever. Like I just wasn't into it. Like, it's your son, fine. And then when he went heel, I just couldn't see it. I was like, but then it was so good, so fast, and he was so hated. He couldn't get a word out. Oh, I'd never seen that before. Like, he couldn't get a word out for like months. Like it was like, don't even act like you're gonna say nothing. And he would try to speak, and he just had to give up. And then to turn on Rhea, to go to Liv, to even be a bigger heel, and yet the love he was getting as this cheating heel was just so funny. And like, we were the people standing and screaming and cheering for him when he won that title.
Yeah.
That was us. Like, and it wasn't even like you pre-thought, like, you just automatically get up and scream and cheer for him. It's amazing. And then even afterwards, when he's talking out there getting interviewed, and he's trying to be a heel so people will stop cheering him, but it's just funny. I think it's great. I totally think he deserves it.
What about you, A? Do you agree or disagree?
I'm going to agree with, again, I'm going to do my best when going through these categories to just accept the 4 nominees. I'm just going to accept it. I'm not going to get into who it should have been. I will simply say this: the 2 AEW stars, Takeshita, Fletcher, I have no issues with them. I don't feel they belong in the top 4.
That's fair.
I have no issues. I have no issues with them. Okay, they're good in their own right, but Breakout Star, I'm not feeling it in a way that I've seen presented over here with these other 2. Oba Femi, absolutely phenomenal star. They're pushing this man, and rightfully so. I cannot wait to see him and Brock Lesnar go toe to toe. You know what's going to happen at some point in 2026. But Dirty Daddy Dominic Mysterio, Who knew? Okay, who knew? This kid was no higher than a butterbean when he was introduced to the WWE universe, and yet somehow, fast forward, he has made this mustache work. Okay,
Yeah.
I said, somebody get a razor and do the right thing here, and he has gotten this mustache over. Do you understand what I'm telling you right now?
Like I see Mexicans with that all the time.
Do you understand what I'm telling
I'm like,
you?
wow, you're doing a dom.
So, and the fact that he gets all the ladies bringing him chicken nuggies, but his wrestling has also improved. We knew that he had the pedigree in him. We saw him on NXT, and he lit it up. He wrestled better than he did on the main roster up until that point. And he just continues to improve and improve and improve. His mic skills are on point. His in-ring skills are on point. Backstage segments. He's got the audience in the palm of his hand. And they were cheering for him. We were cheering for him. He's like, hold up. Let me go ahead and make sure you guys hate me again. And he makes it happen. I absolutely agree with this decision.
And what about you, Mark by Wrestling? Dominic Mysterio had quite a year, but there was a lot of breakout stars, and you being someone that watched NXT, you might have a different perspective on this. So how we feeling?
Oh, I 100% wholeheartedly disagree with this.
There it is. There it is.
And it ain't, and before anybody comes for me, it ain't about who I would rather see. Number one, I would argue that Dom broke out years ago.
Okay.
When he came out of that prison van at WrestleMania in Hollywood,
Wow.
wearing the purple Mysterio mask to face his dad, that was his year. And he's been main event material for me since then.
Wow.
The man looked John Cena in the eyes during promo work in Cena's hometown and didn't flinch. That's not a breakout star. That's a main eventer. Like, he done been here already. He's seen it. Like, he's already with us. So in my opinion, he's not a breakout star because he broke out years ago. So, like, you know, he started the year already torn between Rhea and Liv. So, like, he did the whole Liv temptress thing last year. He did prison Dom 2 years ago. You know, so I'm singing Dom's praises. So I just think he's already achieved it, you know, and I think he's got more. I think he's got more ahead too. And I don't disagree with any of the positives that have been heaped upon him in this discussion. I just think he's already there. So I'll say this: of the nominees that you listed, I would have gone with Oba Femi. He started the year winning the NXT World Title. He had an Anderson Silva, John Jones like level of dominance. Obviously kayfabe because it's wrestling, but whatever. The entire year, and only had a hiccup to Ricky Saints, and then he got his lick back and is currently still the NXT World Champion now because he won that title back at the beginning of December. Faced Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event, the WWE champion, on one of the most, maybe one of the most watched or most attended Saturday night's main events in history, making a huge impact. The man is still NXT champion, and he's getting video packages on Raw and SmackDown now already. So of the nominees, I would have picked Oba Femi, but I want to give you two names that were not in the final four that are worthy of for your consideration, as they say in the industry.
Hit me with
number one. Just announced tonight, NXT's 2025 Male Superstar of the Year, Javon Evans.
Nice.
Him too. I was surprised he wasn't. He's been everywhere.
He was on fire in NXT, in TNA, in AAA, in Raw and SmackDown. And if Tony Khan and Triple H could get along, he probably would have popped over to AEW and had a banger with somebody. Like, everywhere he went, he set things on fire. And that dude, and listen, if you rock with Mark by Wrestling and you've listened to all of my old man rants about the glory days of the golden age of wrestling, you're about to understand what level of high praise I'm about to give Javon Evans. That man possesses the babyface gene that you've only seen in people like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Ricky Morton, and if it floats your boat, Johnny Gargano.
I love it.
Like
I love it.
which probably means he ain't gonna win a title for a while. I mean, he's got to have set a record for title matches lost, but he's appointment viewing. And my other one, you might think I'm just being cute, but to be honest, the way this dude rehabilitated his career path in wrestling this year and technically debuted. All right, I'll stop being cute. El Grande Americano.
Mhm.
I mean, it started off as a joke
Right.
that triggered white people online, but all the Mexican fans actually loved it, which is my favorite kind of humor, honestly. When we white people get up in our feelings for somebody who didn't ask us to get in our feelings about them. And then it becomes this huge joke, but then El Grande 2.0 doubles down on the gimmick, speaks better Spanish, and is a mega, no pun intended, mega face in AAA. Like the first time he showed up, I did a few streams of the AAA shows. They come on kind of late at night, so it's a bit of a stretch. But all those matches are killer. They're not 5 hours long, which is nice. And when he first stepped out on that stage, the entire crowd was in on the bit, and they elevated him to high heights that he has not come down from yet in front of that crowd. Even so much so that at the most recent show, they didn't have to, but chose to have him shake Rey Mysterio's hand in the middle of the ring at the end of the show to solidify an actual face turn, at least in Mexico. I don't know if he's like a face in AAA and still a heel on Raw or whatever. I don't know about all that, but just thinking, well, all right, we'll WWE unreel this for 5 seconds. What would Ludwig Kaiser be doing without this right now? Just consider the alternative and look at what that man has in front of him now. You know, he's found himself a baddie in AAA. Good for him. You know, he's living life, and he's got a renewed, rejuvenated career. So Javon and El Grande or Oba Femi, any of them would have outshined Dom for me, just because Dom has been shining bright for years in my book. That's all.
I think
yeah, somebody said Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy has got the babyface gene as well.
he sure
sorry
does.
about that.
No, you're
Yeah.
good. I think Oba Femi is getting ready to break out for sure in 2026. I don't know if you guys saw the reports, but they're saying that backstage they love him already. And you look at this guy, I can't be the only person that sees the next Brock Lesnar. So let's hope that's what they're going to do with him. If not, better than Brock Lesnar. I got to stop saying the next Shawn Michaels, the next Austin. I want to see the first Oba Femi be bigger than the next Brock Lesnar. How about that?
He cuts better promos than Brock already.
Oh my goodness. He has all the tools to do it, and I'm expecting great things from him. Quick shout out to someone who also calls himself the Ruler. Noel Jimenez with a $5 super chat. He said, "You talking about a breakout star? You looking at home? That former international champ, the Ruler, is here." Noel Jimenez, thank you so much for that. And we also got another super chat from 98% of the time with $5. There's a big money match at some point to shave Dom if WWE wants to do some big stuff in 2026. Also, please turn him babyface. No. Do not.
Leave him just as he is.
Leave him alone.
There's only one scenario where I would tolerate an official babyface turn from Dom.
What's that?
And it would be coming in to save his dad. You would have to, but it would have to be like Cody getting beat up by the Rock by the tour bus, Bloody Ray. To the point where even Dirty Dom is like, I can't let you do my dad like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know who it would be. And he doesn't have to stop being 1996 Eddie Guerrero either. Like, I mean, that's the thing about current WWE is a face turn doesn't mean you have to be, never give up John Cena. I'm sorry, guys, but the straight laced thing. Like he could. There's a way to do it, but if for my money, it would be finally standing up for his dad after he's kind of like nobody gets to talk crap about my dad except for me.
Maybe you could make it work in a Vegeta Goku sense where Vegeta will protect Goku from anyone else, but he's always going to be like, I'm going to be the one to defeat you. So maybe Dominic
like the
Mysterio,
Joker.
like,
I don't want to kill you. What would I do? What would I have around? You know?
Exactly. So it's like, I hate my dad and I want to be the one to beat his ass, but you can't do it. You can't put your hands on him. So yeah, I can see that working out.
I will say this. If they ever make Dom face, he's never going back. So they really have to be careful about that. Once they give the crowd permission to love him, I don't think they'll hate him again. Yeah. That's the only thing, because he's too good.
That's the
I can write it. I can write it. He's in an accident. When he wakes up in the hospital, he doesn't remember the last 2 years of his life.
Soap opera.
And so he doesn't remember that he was turned on Ray. He's his old self again. So he's just trying to, and they're, you know, I wouldn't be a part of the Judgment Day, whatever. But then he turns on Ray and retires him because he was just faking it to get back in, to get Ray's trust, to embarrass him or something. That's a way to turn him face and back heel.
Okay.
That's heartbreak.
Takers, anyone?
Okay.
This is for you, Mark by Wrestling. Three Kings bow down to the for Steven. So when Chad comes back, who would rather stay as Americano? Who would you rather be Americano? Chad or Kaiser? Who you got?
It's got to be Kaiser. I think Chad should just come back as Chad at this point. I mean, and like, but all that to say, use Chad, please. Like that dude's got so much to give, but like, I'm sorry, like just the language alone legitimizes Kaiser's, claim to that throne. I think, I wouldn't be like I saw somebody joke, like, wouldn't it be funny if Chad's Americano and Kaiser's Americano squared off in the Royal Rumble? And there was like a, wait a minute.
Taker versus Taker.
That kind of thing. Like that would be cute for a spot, but I wouldn't want Chad to stay longer. I think let Chad go back to be the wrestling machine at that point, because the gimmick is in better hands than what I could have imagined when Kaiser took over. My 2 cents, since you asked.
That's true.
Three Kings continuing. I guess Three Kings really wants this international title here. Dom is like a nicer version of the Rated R superstar Edge. That's an interesting comparison. And you know what? I'm going to give it to you. I actually think that's a great way to lead things off of, because we need to get to the next the next award here, which is the most improved wrestler of 2025.
Ooh, interesting.
This one should be interesting. And I think we all have an idea of who it is. So let's just go ahead and run it.
Here are the nominees for the most improved wrestler of 2025. JCJ, Raquel Rodriguez, Tatum Paxton, Maxine Dupree, and the winner is Maxine Dupree.
Maxine has shown us what it really takes to show hard in wrestling. And let me just be really quick with this before I let you guys talk. I remember just last year, if it was last year or a year or 2 years ago, please let me know. She was getting booed out of arenas, guys. I still remember that clip that went viral at a house show. They booed her out of that building. And it was the saddest thing, because I knew deep down she was trying, but they called her up. Vince called her up way too soon. She was not prepared. She did not go to the system properly. And so she had to learn on the fly. And a lot of wrestlers would quit, understandably. Maxine didn't do that. She didn't do that. She ate it. She took her licks and she just grew to the point where now she's halfway decent. And to me, the fact that she didn't complain, the fact that she didn't moan and complain and cry on the internet like a lot of wrestlers would do, she just kept it going. That earned a lot of respect from me. And she ends the year as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. I agree with this award. Now, I'm pretty sure Mark by Wrestling will have his opinions about that, because he did watch NXT. But I'm not going to start with him. I want to start with you, A. How do we feel about Maxine winning this award? Do you agree or disagree?
Can I ask you real quick, who came in second?
Oh, that is a good question. Let me look that up. But last I checked, I thought it was JC Jane. But what do you feel about
I was hoping it was JC Jane, and I
Yeah.
think that would be the right call. Again, I'm going to stick with just who the nominees are. I'm not going into who it should have been. I love the fact that this was all ladies, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, looking at all the ladies, I will simply say this much. Raquel should not be in this category. And it's a shame for me to say Raquel should not be in this category. She was an NXT juggernaut, and I don't know what happened to her on the main roster. I kind of understand why she got in here, because she was kind of floundering. She was kind of all over the place, and then she really kind of found her niche, which she was already in. And I'm shocked that it took her this long to find what she had essentially in NXT. She found herself again. So I don't really want to say best improved for her. You just found yourself again. As far as Maxine Dupree goes, let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that she is still going with Maxine Dupree, it's like Dewdrop, you know, the same with LA Knight. Yeah. We know how they came in here. He shed that. He hated it. And he finally got back to what he does best, being who he is, being his authentic self. Maxine Dupree, it was what it was. It was cute. It was fine. And you know, whatever. But the work that she's doing right now, and it's sad that it happened so late in the game, but the work that she's doing right now, the fact that they are pushing her, they're doing, and I talked about this, to do these type of promos where you're getting gritty, you've got the camera in there, she's training, she's sweating. We're seeing her in a way that legitimizes her, that she's taking it serious. And that's something that we want to see. We as the WWE universe, we as professional wrestling watchers, we want to see. We can smell phony. We're not really interested in phony unless your gimmick is to be phony, then we're okay with it. But in this instance, you are showing us that you are taking this serious, that you want to be not just a pretty face, not just a valet, but you want to be taken serious as a wrestler. And like she said, right now, I think she just got married, or she's at least engaged to get married.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in the match that she had with Ivy Nile, her whole nail. If anybody's ever accidentally, you know, you're cutting your nail
too low,
and you get that, you hit the quick, it hurts.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you hit your nail in a door or something, you crack it, it hurts. She had her nail ripped off in a match, and she finished said match. I cannot even begin to think about how much that must have hurt. But the fact is, like you said, she didn't cry about it. She's not over here bitching and moaning and whining. I'm sure she's had her moment. She's a human, but she dusted herself off. She got back on the horse, and she said, let's see what we can do to improve. Let's get my face out here to the people to show that I'm taking this serious. And the fact that they put a strap on her, and not just some, you know, little whatever 24/7 title, the Intercontinental Championship. You went and faced the man. You beat her 3 times. I mean, this is incredible work. So again, looking at the nominees, I absolutely agree with this decision.
Now, to answer your question, A, second place was Raquel Rodriguez with 13%. Now, B, 71% is what Maxine Dupree won by. This was 1,300 votes. She won by 71%. Are you a part of that 71%?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I had her back when she was getting bullied like that. I did not like how the universe was treating her when they was booing her out like that. And I'm so glad that she was able to come back and just in all y'all faces who was over there treating her like dirt. Glad for her.
And for you, Marked by Wrestling, are you a part of the 71% that thinks Maxine Dupree is the most improved wrestler?
I am. Actually, I think this was totally the right call.
There it is.
I want to spread around a little respect because I don't know how I don't know how many more opportunities in the broadcast we'll get the opportunity to give some of these ladies their flowers. But yeah, Maxine, like she went from a joke, like a catering punchline backstage, and I want to give Becky Lynch flowers for absolutely making her.
Yeah.
She went from being a forgettable, skippable backstage segment. And I don't want you guys to not hear every next word that comes out in this next sentence of my mouth, to winning a title and winning over the crowd in Madison Square Garden.
Wow. There it is.
She didn't win that belt in Toledo, Ohio, or her hometown. She won it in the most famous professional wrestling arena in the world. And I'm not doing the Becky gimmick. I'm being genuine here. The Becky Lynch gimmick. Arguably the best women's wrestler in wrestling today.
It's not just him saying it, just so we're clear.
And yeah, so there you go. There it is. I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I do want to give a shout out to JC Jane. I'm far more comfortable and voted for Maxine because I think at the starting point from where their baselines or where they started to where they got, JC was already a better wrestler than Maxine. So I think Maxine made more improvement. But I will say more about JC and maybe Becky Lynch later on if things go the way I think they might go. But I'm just going to keep my mouth shut until we get there. And also, I'm just going to step aside for like a minute and a half. I'll be right back there.
Yeah, and while you're stepping aside, we're going to go ahead and roll the Babyface Award here, the Babyface of the Year. Just to keep you guys up to date, last year, the Babyface of the Year was Cody Rhodes. Of course, 2024 was indeed his year. So who's going to be the Babyface of 2025? Let's find out right now.
Here are the nominees for the Best Babyface of the Year. Hangman Adam Page, Will Ospreay, CM Punk, Rhea Ripley. And the winner is CM Punk.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality.
You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I wasn't expecting this result. Believe it or not, as great of a year this was for CM Punk, he was not my original pick to win this. My original pick was Rhea Ripley. I was dead set on her winning it because I was in the arena live when she was here in Houston. You know that little thermometer that pops up when she comes out and they're like, oh, 100 to over 100 is that loud, you'll go deaf. And you're thinking that's fake, that there's no way that that's real. It's 100% real. It is loud in the arenas when Rhea comes out. So I was shocked that she did not win this. It went to CM Punk for Babyface of the Year. And when I think about it, honestly, consistently across the board, biggest pops in the arenas, won the world championship at the end of the year. Some of the best matches, that triple threat match at WrestleMania, his match with John Cena, his program with John Cena might be his best program as the heel, in my personal opinion. And yeah, like I completely agree with this choice. I'm not going to sit here and say it would have been my choice. I still think Rhea Ripley should have won, but that's just me. CM Punk is the Babyface of the Year, marked by wrestling. How are we feeling about CM Punk being the Babyface of the Year?
I'm happy for CM Punk. Congratulations on this award, Mr. Punk. And listen, I'm really glad he got his WrestleMania main event too. Like, I mean, that was a big milestone for him. And, you know, he can downplay it now if he wants to, but like he made it clear 10 years ago, that was something that was important to him. But you talk about pops, and you know, Rhea Ripley's consistent pops, regardless of her booking. throughout the year, regardless of her availability. If we're judging by that criteria, I want to give you 2 names that are not in this 4 that I think were better baby faces than CM Punk this year. According to at least consistently sustained crowd response. One is kind of a gimme. Yes, I see him, Becky. Sorry. But you have to have a minimum number of appearances. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We all love him.
Not kidding.
John Cena. He got cheered out of the building in WrestleMania while he was a heel. And there's a little bit of bias there because everyone who saw him, it was the last time they were going to see him. But when he flipped the switch to be babyface again in August, he was the loudest thing in the building every time that music hit. And the other one, I'm so excited to say this because I just want to see how the chat handles it.
Oh boy.
Jey Uso.
Oh,
wow.
man.
He's yeeting with babies
Mm-hmm.
in the crowd. Are you kidding me? There's not one talent on the roster who women are giving their babies to during an entrance other than Jay. Like,
That is
and
true.
listen, I'm not here to tell you how well he's been booked or how good his spear looks or how many super kicks he does in a match. I'm not talking about any of that. You cannot deny the sustained positive crowd reinforcement of real people who pay real money, not people who cry on Twitter for every 2 hours Monday night and try to get him fired or demoted or whatever. He hasn't lost a drop of pop. And imagine that with some of his shortcomings in the ring, that they still love him that much. That's how over you really are, which is crazy. And I bring all those, I bring all those up. Not that any of them are necessarily like my favorite, but I can't deny, you cannot deny who the crowd loves. Like, unless you're just watching with the sound off. And if that's how you like to watch wrestling, good for you, but you're missing something.
How do you feel about CM Punk being the winner, B? Like, do you agree with Punk being the babyface, the overall babyface of the year? Because I kind of feel like there were a lot this year, but I'm curious to know what you think.
There was a lot this year, and I don't know why. Yeah, I mean, I could acknowledge the fact that he turned me. I was not happy that Punk came back. I just thought he was a jerk, and I feel like he has done a good job of fixing that view of him, and so I could give him props for that, and I do want to give honorable mention to the tribal chief because he was a foul heel, and everybody was like, I'm ready for him to lose it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, he was so he was hated. And now you got people roaming, chanting his name, and so I give him honorable mention. But I agree that it should have been Jay. I mean,
Wow.
come on. He broke the decimal, like you said, that decimal is real. And he was breaking the decimal overseas. And he just, I would go with Jay too.
Wow. Well, how we feeling about CM Punk being so far, we got 2 people saying, How you feeling about CM Punk being the babyface?
I with regards to what they said, especially Mark by Wrestling, I hear you and I understand you.
Here we go. Hit him with
I
it.
agree, but I also gotta disagree with the whole voice.
The first one at the stream. There it is.
Okay. Here's the thing. John Cena, he was John Cena. It's a hard no for me. It's a hard no. I don't know what this year was. He was just being John Cena. No, he shouldn't be included in this category. I did not enjoy this year at all, at all. But I agree with you, and I agree with you. As far as the category goes, I'm good with CM Punk. It makes sense. He turned it around. He's having fun. He's enjoying himself. Even when he's in his feelings, he's still kind of doing his thing. But yeah, legitimately, when it comes to baby faces, Jey Uso has been through it. He has had some phenomenal days and some not so good days. And yet the crowd rocks with him regardless. As
Right.
much as we have crashed out, as much as we've said, what in the world? And there were times we were like, Jay, get your cardio up. Jay, what are you doing? You got to go into the bag and give me a little more than a super kick and a spear, bruh. Legitimately, I say every single time he comes out through the audience, and I'm like, there is insurance. The underwriters are having a fit anytime he picks up, especially a little white baby. You cannot pick up people's babies and be yeeting with them as sweaty as you are. You know, that baby slips and it goes bouncing down the stairs. That's it. But
Jesus.
it happens. And then international. This is, and let's be also really, really clear here. Jey Uso being the ethnicity that he is, he's a darker skinned individual. They said this kind of about with The Rock, that The Rock sort of transcends race a little bit. The one thing we can say about the professional wrestling world back in the day, it has a tendency to be a little sexist, a little racist. Going out into other parts of the world, and we've all seen interviews with wrestlers, even talking about other parts of the country, where there's some sections where people can be a little racist. Okay, it just is what it is. It's how the world is. But going around the world and having this darker skinned man get everybody doing this, I mean, that says something. As much as they love CM Punk, and it's great to see him back and everything, but yeah, I would have to agree that Jey Uso should have been top dog in this category. But considering it was what it was, I'm fine with it.
So let's go ahead and get to the super chats really quickly before we move to the next one. Thank you so much, Three Kings, who I think has now taken the lead for super chat time. Yes, $25 is the lead right now. Says Becky is helping elevate Maxine character-wise. I can't wait to see her work with heels like Naomi too, or Liv Morgan. Buddy, you ain't lying. Those are going to be very sweet when we get to those.
Mm-hmm.
Three Kings says Punk is like LeBron. It shouldn't count because LeBron could easily be MVP every year, most years. Wow. What a compliment. I'm pretty sure he would love to hear that as well. And this last super chat is from Ronwell Nigales. My hot take from World Champ. I disagree with Mark's take. The only reason Jay was cheered is because of his yeet entry. He has one of most dislikes. That is true. One of the most dislikes in a YouTube video. That is actually a fact. You want to respond to that?
Sure. First of all, you're totally entitled to your opinion, Romwell. I appreciate you, man. But could you bring that back up real quick?
Sure.
Alyx, sorry.
Yeah.
The Ultimate Warrior was only popular because of his entrance too. And he's a Hall of Famer and he's one of the most beloved wrestlers of all time. So that take means nothing to me. Also, YouTube dislikes is one of the most irrelevant measuring metrics. Justin Bieber's Baby music video is one of the most disliked, literally one of the most disliked YouTube videos in all of the platform's history. And if you're going to tell me that Justin Bieber's not popular, bro, I've got a short AEW pay-per-view to sell you. Like, another one of the most disliked videos on YouTube is Baby Shark. And I don't know if any of you guys have kids in the chat, but
Baby Shark.
You can't convince. There's a certain demographic that song appeals to too. That song is goated. So like, YouTube dislikes don't mean anything. Just like it doesn't matter how many followers Dave Meltzer has on Twitter. He's still wrong about WWE 99% of the time.
And it's funny that you
just
say
got
that
real.
too, because
It just got
we
real.
were there when Jay won. Everybody was on their feet cheering through the whole stadium. Roof blew off. So these people who are over here tapping on the dislike, they didn't have the money or care enough to go see it in person, because everyone who saw it in person loved it.
They wanted the people online. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Becky. Like they wanted
no, that
Cena
was
to
it.
win
Oh,
back then. And listen, WWE was smart to see that Jay had a ton of momentum in January. We said it on your podcast, A and B, that day. We recorded the day of the Royal Rumble, and we were all in agreement that of all the top names that were in, that was a really star-studded Royal Rumble too. Go back and look at that list. That Jay probably had the most saliently booked reason to want to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania out of anybody.
yeah.
And so he won. They took a chance on him, and it was the right thing to do at the time. Jay, listen, so, you know, they took a chance on Jay, and I think Jay has proven that he excels better as a tag wrestler than a singles wrestler. But you don't know that unless you give the man a chance. They gave him a chance. Personally, I do think Jay just doesn't have the conditioning to be a singles world champion. And I don't have this conditioning to be a speed champion. So like, I mean, I'm not judging, but like, so like he's back in his bag with Jimmy now. Like, I think that's where they did it and they tried. So like, you know, they were going for it. And so they were, if you watch Unreal, some of y'all in the chat who are trying to call me out, they pitched Jay as a winner, not the day of the Rumble. It was a part of their plans.
Yeah.
Go to Netflix, give WWE their views, which I know you don't want to do because you have an axe to grind, but that was a part of their plans. That was something they were floating around. They gave Jay a shot. They gave him the, somebody said Jey Uso is basically Baby Shark. And I actually won't argue with that. That's pretty valid, Ultra Shadow. But listen, you don't know someone fails unless you put them in there. And yes, WWE went with Jey Uso over all those people, JJ. That's what they did because I saw the show. Because all those other other people had matches at Mania that didn't need the Royal Rumble. Some of y'all haven't watched Royal Rumble since 1988 like I have. The best Royal Rumbles are when you try to make a star. Benoit, I'm sorry to say his name first, but Shawn Michaels, Batista, Steve Austin, Bret Hart, and Lex Luger. I mean, one of them worked, one of them didn't, you know? The Rock, these are all people who won Royal Rumbles before they really had their crowning moment as a babyface at WrestleMania or right after. They tried to go for it. Was it Drew McIntyre? God bless him, before COVID ruined him. That was one of the best Rumbles ever. Flair, you know, solidified him when he was a new face in WWE. So all that to say, you have to put yourself in the time and place of February 1st, 2025, and realize Jay was the hot hand at that time. And they took a risk. They gave us something new. They tried to make a new star, and they did make a new star. It just turns out that new star is not a new single star. He's going to be better. I think he's going to be better as a tag star.
That's
and
fair.
They tried and they let it work out. Like, how else are we going to
just say, because you have people who want to go on and on about the yeeting and the song. The fact that the yeeting and the song got over so much is because Jay was over. Jay was over when him and Roman went at it. Jay was over when he was not there at the end of the Bloodline matches, and they were shouting for Jay. Roman is in the ring. Jimmy's in the ring. I believe Sammy was in the ring. Paul's in the ring. And the crowd, we want Jay. We want Jay. That was happening before Jay left and got his own theme music. So for all of y'all who are saying he's over because of the theme music, please go back and watch from like 2019, 2020, like 2020, right? Was when Roman returned and him and Jay went at it. Jay has been over since then. So all of y'all who are in denial about that, y'all got to be haters because this is just fact. Just go back and watch it. It's not just the music.
There's a difference between recognizing somebody was entitled to, or someone earned their push, versus that means you like them. Like, I mean, I got tired of the eating after a while too, but at the same time, I'm like, wow, I can't believe the crowd's not tired of this. They're so still into it. Like I'm impressed. I felt like Ron Burgundy. I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. Like, but yeah, pre-eating. I just want to point out two things before this turns into a Jey Uso defense. Sorry. They look at you, they see the tribal chief. They look at me and they say, which one is he? That promo was before Yeeting.
Yep.
And also staring Jimmy in the eye saying, guess what? You out and I'm out too. And they murdered Roman Reigns with a super kick pre-Yeeting. And that crowd lost their minds. Like, so listen, he was over before he found a catchphrase. Catchphrase carried him to the next level. And for 40 years, catchphrases and t-shirts have made the difference between wrestlers and superstars.
There it is.
There is a difference.
Yep.
Just to add to what you're saying, Steven, 98% of the time says, I'll take a Jey Uso type Rumble victory every year if it's possible.
The word type is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, but I agree. Type. Yes, I agree.
Type. And then Robert Nagash with another $5 super chat. I might not like Justin Bieber's music and don't know about Baby Shark, but my young idol does as a kid. Just FYI, I don't like Dave Meltzer. LOL. My
Nothing
friend.
but love for you.
And then the final super chat before we get to the next category. 3 Kings continuing his streak with $30. You like to see it? People forget that yeet was Jimmy's catchphrase at first too. Jey could have said, I'm a scat man, and it would have got over 2 at the time.
I'm a scat man. Bum, bum. I'm a scat man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. On that note,
That's crazy.
On that note, we're going to move on to the heel of the year. Y'all know who the heel of the year is. Let's just get to him right now.
Here are the nominees for the heel of the year. Drew McIntyre, Naomi, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Gunther. And the winner is the Ring General, Gunther.
He ended Goldberg's career. He made John Cena tap out in his final match. 2 of the moments that A lost his mind live on A&B Convos involved this man. The first one when Jey lost the world title, and of course when John Cena tapped out. Undisputed, he is the heel of the year. I can't find anybody that doesn't deserve this award other than probably Triple H, but he does not quite fit the confines of this category. I'm gonna go with Gunther. As much as I loved everybody there, Naomi. Oh my God, I would have loved it if Naomi won this award. I love Naomi, but in terms of what a heel is, I gotta be honest with you. When she went heel, she became the ultimate babyface for me because I loved her run. I loved when she went from feel the glow to proceed with caution. So just saying. But hey, how we feeling about Gunther being the heel of the year here? I mean, he made you rage, bro. He made you rage twice this year with Jey and Cena.
What can be said? I've got my Imperium shirt. I've always been a fan of Walter. Gunther.
Freudian slip there.
My bad. I lost my friggin' mind when he did what he did. He wronged us. Naomi was robbed, but that's neither here nor there. But no, this is obviously the guy that they are all in on. It's Chips all in. I love the fact that we are doing the promos with Vegas and you see them sitting around, and I feel like Gunther needs to be in on the men's right now. They're all chips in on Gunther as far as him being a monster heel. This is the man they chose to end the greatest of all time, the GOAT, John Cena, and not only end it, but tap him out, to do the thing that couldn't be done. There just isn't a bigger heel, even though you've had say a Brock Lesnar coming back in and just kind of giving a rinse and repeat of what they did before, him being the beast and all that, and everybody, pops for him even when he came back and did his thing. But he wasn't the guy chosen to end it with John Cena. And this is a scripted program. They could have done that. They could have figured it out. They could have written it and he not return until the very end. But they chose Gunther. And so as far as his category goes, makes sense to me.
Three Kings says ending Goldberg makes him the babyface of the year. B, do you agree with that sentiment? And do you agree that Gunther is the heel of the year?
Nah. I know he made him tap out, but that's more on John Cena than Gunther. But at the end of the day, Naomi, she had me in my feelings. She had homegirl put razor blades in her hair, dog. Like, do you know how dangerous that is? She cut herself on one occasion. That and to talk about Bianca's mama, what was just
you know
what I mean? Come on, bro. Nah, I would have to give it to her for sure. So no, I don't agree with that.
Disagrees.
Hey, Mark by Wrestling. I'm almost certain I know what the answer here is, but how do you feel about Gunther being the heel of the year?
Oh, this will be fun then. I might surprise you. First off, just to say that I never throw a bone to other places. I'd like to give a little bit of love to Jon Moxley because there's a certain amount of hatred that the Death Riders had, and part of that was because people were sick of it. But as some wrestlers would say, heat is heat, So I don't even know that I would put him in the top 4, but I just wanted to say for something that doesn't hold my attention as much as AEW does, I noticed how sick people were of Jon Moxley. So, and his little briefcase world title. So I just want to give credit where credit is due, as Jesse Ventura would say. Now on to the real heels. Honestly, ideally for me, if I could, I would split this title in half and give half to Gunther and half to Naomi. But I think they both had, honestly, I think they both had a stellar half year. Gunther was just kind of taken off TV after losing to Punk at SummerSlam and just came back, for the Cena tournament. And I did get quite a loud chuckle at Three Kings' comment about retiring Goldberg because that was a babyface move for me. If I saw one. But the man retired his hero. I mean, he looked Bret Hart in the eyes and said, "My favorite wrestler growing up was Goldberg." Nevertheless, I honestly want to lean more Naomi though, just because, similar to what I said about Dom earlier, Gunther already had something with him coming into this year. He was already a top heel, and Naomi made the turn, the transition, and then elevated her game at the same time. And Gunther honestly has the privilege of already kind of being at an elevated part of his game, working against him for me. I don't know how much higher you can go than retiring John Cena, but you were already he was already and I've been saying this, on my channel and stuff, I haven't seen a crowd reaction like that Saturday night's main event since Brock Lesnar broke the Undertaker's streak. Yeah. Just the stunned silence. And if I may remind the court, everybody, when that happened, Brock Lesnar went on a monster tear, and that was the first time he 187 with a glove in his mouth to John Cena. at SummerSlam 2014. That is what culminated in breaking the streak, is making Brock an unstoppable monster. And so anything less with Gunther is not going to be enough, because you have to make that gutsy decision mean something. And so that's really the only place left for Gunther to go for me, or else it's going to ultimately be a bit of a disappointment, which WWE has proven they make they are very capable of making big swings and disappointing us. But now that being said, Naomi, man, she started, she started the year as a trifling liar, just sneaking her way up to Bianca, trying to be a best friend. She got curb stomped by Jade in that Elimination Chamber, which was Jade's best moment of her WWE career up until that point. And then, yes, Tyler Perry presents Friday Night SmackDown with her and Bianca in the middle of the ring. Also, real quick, we've put over that segment multiple times tonight. I want to remind everybody that episode of SmackDown was in Philly. ECW Philly. So you don't realize how easily that crowd could have turned on that segment. They put both of those women in the middle of the ring with a live mic. This was not a cinematic, pre-produced vignette. They went out in front of that crowd, did that thing, and held the crowd's attention the entire time. And then everything that B said about the razor blades, the money in the bank, all that stuff. And you know what? She's got, God bless her, man. I hope she gets whatever she wants out of the rest of her career and her family and Big Jim and all that stuff and all the Bonafide pie she wants, whatever. Bonafide pie, whatever it's called. Yeah, I wish her nothing but the best. And if that's all we ever got, if that's all we ever end up getting out of Naomi, I really, 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 really do hope she comes back. But I understand if she doesn't want to either, because life is life and all that stuff. But man, if that's all we got, what a freaking way to go out. Like, so anyway, yeah. So listen, I think I would give Naomi the edge, but I can't not acknowledge Gunther has had a monster year as well. But yeah, man, that's just a toughest call for me tonight so far.
Yeah, and honestly, I agree with 98% of the time. With all of this he has, we got to give him the belt. And not even the World Heavyweight Championship. Give
Cody's
him the top belt. Thank you.
Cody's belt. Top belt or nothing.
He's got to go all the way. And honestly, if it was up to me, controversial, I think he should end Brock's career next. Because Brock's about to retire soon.
SummerSlam's in Minnesota.
We'll have to see what happens.
And AJ too.
See, okay.
Well, he's going to retire anyway.
Might as well.
He didn't have to tap out, though. He doesn't have to tap, though. You just pin him.
Definitely a discussion for another time. But let's get to the next award here. The segment of the year. We know what it is. Let's just run it.
Here are the nominees for the segment of the year. John Cena's pipe bomb on CM Punk. AJ returns on SmackDown after a 10-year absence. Seth Rollins fakes his injury and cashes in at SummerSlam. John Cena turns heel at the Elimination Chamber. And the winner is John Cena turns heel at the Elimination Chamber.
Now, we should just be expecting this to get all the awards every time you see it. I just want to show some love to the other three that did not win. John Cena's pipe bomb on CM Punk. Incredible. If I had to go back and pick a moment during his run that I absolutely enjoyed, it was that. That was just spectacular. And then Punk coming back with his Dr. Thugonomics promo the next week, fucking loved it. And I know a lot of people are not going to look fondly upon it. I just loved what he was doing as a heel. And although it was a flop, you got to give him credit for stuff like that. AJ Lee would probably any other year be winning all the awards for her return after a 10-year absence. Come on now. That's huge. It just so happened to be on the year that John Cena turned heel, and Seth Rollins faking his injury. Hey, look, I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that he did that because there's a lot of wrestlers who don't have the privilege of faking an injury and using it as a storyline. That was crazy. And even me predicting it was even crazier. I was like, how did I call that? But no, like, it's crazy when you stop and think about all the crazy shit that happened this year and what would have actually won if that heel turn never happened. So, yeah, segment of the year, without question, the heel turn. B, do you agree or disagree?
I mean, it's kind of hard because this seems like the same category as the first one to me. So I feel like it would be weird for me to change my answer because I probably still think it is the top segment. But the Seth Rollins one really did get me too. Like, there it was the same kind of thing, even with the Paul Heyman turning on both of them and going with Seth. I actually predicted that too, but I still was shocked as heck to see that actually happen. It was just a crazy thing I was saying. You know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
sometimes you could imagine it. You still are like, nah, they wouldn't do that.
It's
So
not gonna
I
happen.
feel
Yeah.
you on that. But yeah, I still think that moment, probably would still win out. But I would say the Seth one is probably a close second for me.
What do you feel about that, eh?
Yeah, the Seth segment shouldn't be in this at all. That's just very typical wrestling for me. I've seen
Wow.
that plenty of times. I mean, I was still I didn't think it was going to happen. I actually thought he was out. So I was surprised. But segment of the year, nah, it wasn't that serious
Fair enough.
for me. AJ Lee returning. We hoped against hope. And boom, it actually happened after a 10-year absence. Something that we never thought would happen has happened, because she said she was done. She was out. It was over. It was never happening. Just like CM Punk said, never stepping foot in the WWE again. So there were some things, even though they said for years, never say never in the WWE. Those are a couple of things I thought we just would not ever see again. But now that we're seeing it, like with Nikki Bella and her neck injury, I thought that was over. Bryan Danielson, Edge. There's some people that I thought, okay, it's a wrap for good, and yet some way, somehow, they managed to come back and do the dang thing. So I'm not mad at it. But as far as this category goes, I will have to admit that I'm a little torn again, looking at these nominees. The Cena pipe bomb, if you will. It was tough. John Cena, he cusses up a storm. The man himself cusses up a storm. But John Cena, the character, I've never seen it happen. I've just never seen it happen. And he went all in. That's probably the best of him being a heel that I can say that I've seen this year. He did something that I really just didn't expect him to do. And I'm sitting here watching this going, you know what? This man is going all in on this character to the point of no return. Like, I'm letting all the kids know that John Cena that you used to know is dead. And I'm smoking cigars, I'm drinking Hennessy, straight from the bottle. I'm a swine talking guy. And that really had me more so than the heel turn. The heel turn, I think, would be a close second.
Wow.
For me, I will say the segment, it really, and I say that because having watched the heel turn, there really wasn't any other time aside from the actual turn itself that I was invested in the heel turn. I just felt like he was playing. I felt like John Cena was playing a character that, and I think that most of the WWE universe agreed that we just didn't buy. Like I said earlier, that we can smell phony. It didn't feel legit. It didn't feel real. He's a better actor than that. And so I was really taken aback by how bad it was. But that segment for me, I'm like, okay, you're all in on this heel thing. You really went there. There's no undoing it. There's no unsaying what you just said. It's a done deal. So I will have to go with that. I kind of disagree with this decision.
98% of the time takes the lead with $34 by saying, "How dare all these voters disrespect the basic punkonomics segment?" So I'm assuming that is his segment.
That was a good
That was
segment.
great. That was great.
Yeah.
Then Ron Will Nogales comes in with $5. As someone who was there live in Chicago, I think AJ Lee returning in Chicago should have been the segment of the year. That's just me because I was there. It must have been
That's fair.
crazy energy to be there live in the
fair.
arena. But Steven, Mark by Wrestling, how we feeling about the obvious here?
Yeah, I mean, of those 4 options, I'd probably stick with the heel turn as the segment, because Seth's cash in wasn't even the most talked about thing of that event, because that was at the end of night 1, and stupid Brock Lesnar had to show up at the end of night 2.
Yep.
To ruin what was honestly, for my money, a very beautiful finish between Cena and Cody.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was Cena's best match up until that point. And they left it all out, and like Cena was finally like getting love, but you know, Hunter has to have clicks.
Yep.
So that's probably my biggest axe to grind with WWE these days, is they'll make dumb, short-sighted decisions for clicks. And let's see, AJ. I don't want to speak ill of AJ Lee. I'll just say she was a prominent female wrestler during a time where I didn't really care about female wrestling very much.
Mhm.
And so I just don't have the attachment to her that a lot of other fans do. But that doesn't, I'll never say that she was a bad wrestler or anything like that. You know, I don't have any cardboard cutouts of her, behind me or anything like that. So no, but I get why that meant a lot to a lot of people though. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah. The pipe bomb promo. I do view that and basic punkonomics, as one of the chatters said, I view them as like a pairing, you know, like I can't think of one without thinking of the other. I was trying to think of other segments though, that might've even like done it for me this year. And honestly, I mean, there's some segments that I enjoyed. Oh, I was going to say about Seth. I think Braun Breaker turning on Seth was a hotter segment than Seth cashing in on Punk.
Wow.
I think that was a bigger shock value. Because I really don't think anybody saw that coming.
Yeah.
When it happened. Just
Vision portraying.
Not so
Yeah.
soon.
You know?
And honestly, and also I'm a bit of a mark for a lot of the tsunami killings that Bronson Reed committed this year. The multiple muggings of Roman Reigns' shoes. And not because I wanted to see Roman get beat up, but nobody does that. Like the way they put Bronson Reed on the map from stealing his shoes multiple times. Like, I mean, that might seem silly, but I'm like, dude, he's getting away with this. This is like 4 horsemen bloodying up dusty roads in the parking lot stuff. Like people don't get one over on Roman. And so like, I mean, that kind of stuff was special to me. But yeah, I mean, listen, I would be a hypocrite if I tried to ignore the attention that heel turn generated, so I'm going to try to be consistent here. And I would say of those 4, that would be the one.
Real quick, I want to ask Alyx, do you know where I'm assuming Truth fell in the category somewhere. Do you know where he fell on the list? Not necessarily the cutting the hair, but when he was unmasked and returned. I'm just curious, did that make it?
It did make it in one of these future awards. You will see that on here. Yeah, but it did not make, unfortunately, segment of the year, which is surprising because that was nuts. Also, something the WWE flopped this year on top of a lot of things. So we're not going to get into that though. We got another award to get to, and I think it's time we get some clicks and piss people off. You guys ready to piss some people off? Let's look at the promotion. The wrestling promotion of the year. let's get to it.
Here are the nominees for the promotion of the year. AEW Double. The WWE NXT. Total nonstop action. TNA. And the winner is the WWE.
With 56% out of 3,000 votes, WWE takes promotion of the year. I already know you guys don't like this choice because I know everyone's saying that AEW had a better year. I'm sorry. AEW only looks better because it remained consistently subpar, while WWE just got progressively worse and worse and worse and worse. If we're going to go by what I think consistently was the best promotion, believe it or not, I would probably go with NXT by default. I think Sean has had a killer year in terms of how he was booking NXT across the board. But WWE financially, in terms of the best moments, in terms of the best matches, in terms of the best segments, yeah, it's objectively better than any promotion we've had this year. Despite the fact, and I still say this was Triple H's worst year so far as the head booker, which says a lot. So, you know what? Screw it. I'm fine with that choice, WWE. Steven, how do you feel about this choice?
Yeah, let's come in guns blazing. If AEW was so good, they'd sell more tickets. And it's not a and it's not about selling as many tickets as WWE either. I'm so tired of this WWE as McDonald's and AEW is some Michelin restaurant. You know what? We live in LA. Some of us do. And let me tell you something about Michelin restaurants. They might be small, but you know what? There's never an empty seat in the house.
Mm.
And it's incredibly freaking difficult to get into those places because they're in high demand. I got Facebook ads for 30% off of some AEW pay-per-view that's coming to LA in March. I've never in my life seen a discount code for WWE tickets, and I'm on multiple email lists.
And they need it probably anything else.
And I got it on a Facebook ad, Alyx, not even Twitter. That's the old people's social media app. So so miss me with that. Oh, it's better stuff. Listen, if that's what you like, cool. But you're not winning an argument when your business, like everything CM Punk said to Ariel Helwani was 100% true. If you're more interested in some goof giving you 5 stars, but the building's a quarter full, we are not in the same business. So that'll never be promotion of the year for me. Okay, never. And I'm not a WWE lifer, despite what all the merch says behind me. I was a hardcore Crockett Promotions, NWA, WCW guy. And you know what? For a while, they outsold WWE because people wanted to see them more because they were better. Like, people go to the things that are better because they're willing to pay for them. Anyway, WWE probably has the best balance of star power, success, and matches. I'm not saying any of those 3 things are the best, but I think they have the best mean average. To be the guy who streams NXT every week, I will say this unabashedly, NXT is the best booked show out of all 4 of those promotions.
Yeah.
Every single week, you are not wondering. I will say for the majority of the entire calendar year, you were never wondering what talent was doing, or why somebody was in catering, or all these other things. Like, you always got like almost a 50% split of male and female wrestling in the ring, of male and female vignettes, of male and female social media postings from wrestlers who weren't on the show to remind you of what feuds they were in, a 50% split of male and female booking for the future weeks. Like, you left every episode of NXT knowing who was in a feud, why they were in a feud, and what was coming next week. And JJ, when did I ever say I didn't watch TNA? I stream Slammiversary, buddy. You need to subscribe to my channel and learn some education.
Check them out. Check them out.
And TNA owes their 2025 success to NXT. I mean, they do. Like, and that's not a diss on TNA. They just had a big brother lift them up and give them more spotlight. So,
Snatch their titles.
well, yeah, but you know what? I mean, if that gets Leon Slater and Joe Hendry on Saturday night's main event, God bless them. I mean, now, granted, WWE's snatching them up when their contracts are up, but I know TNA had to know that's what it was. I mean, they're not stupid, but yeah, that's the downside of going into business with big dubs.
And I want to follow that up with 98% of the time saying, not mad, figured this would win, but I picked NXT. We got NXT. But Three Kings is coming in hot with his pick. Wrestling Society X got robbed.
Justice for Lucha Underground.
Justice for Lucha Underground, for sure. And I missed this one earlier. I do apologize. R-Truth cutting his hair was definitely a segment that, again, you'll see on this list later on. But, you know, hey, when you think about the discourse between wrestling fans and what is the promotion of the year here, WWE, AEW always comes up. Is WWE the promotion of the year for you?
You know what? That's a heck of a question. I'm gonna ask this total in this award show. How many categories do we have total?
Around 12.
R-Truth is coming in 12. Yeah. Okay, so R-Truth is coming in one of these, right?
Yes.
All right. As far as these nominees are concerned, as far as promotion is concerned, I not unlike the presidential election. Okay, I'm not going to get political here. The results are what they are, and I will strongly dispute and disagree with the end all be all. I think this is crap. I think we were robbed. I want a recount. Okay. I want a hand count of these ballots immediately. Okay, going into every county and every city. Look. WWE is a fine promotion. I've rocked with WWE, and I will continue to rock with WWE. We've been with them through some of the leanest years, and they will have some additional lean years, I'm sure. But what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? We're talking about a now TKO backed juggernaut. They have changed the game in ways that I don't particularly appreciate. They become more money hungry than I've ever seen, and I feel like the dollar signs have blinded them to what the WWE was and ultimately is supposed to be. You're programming in some ways for all the wrong reasons. Like Mark by Wrestling said earlier, you're programming for clicks. You want the hot moment, and the problem with that is you will have the hot moment, but you don't follow through. You got to follow through. Anybody can just have the hot moment, but it's really the follow through that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to follow through, and you just don't do it. For my money, and I've watched all of these promotions, everybody has the good and the bad, the pluses and the minuses. But for my money, NXT has consistently shown me throughout the year that they know how to program a 2-hour show. They are able to give film segments, in-ring segments, backstage segments, and they can do it all with everybody gets a shine. And as a filmmaker, okay, the thing that I love about it is the layering. You will have somebody way in the back. You'll have somebody in the middle, in the foreground. They're literally telling 3 different things simultaneously, okay, to make sure that their people get their shine. Yeah. WWE's main rosters are just now figuring this out. It just frustrates me that you get to the big dance and you consistently fumble the ball versus NXT says, well, let me show you how it's done. and they do it well. I'm not saying they're perfect, but when it comes to all of these promotions, for my money, they do it more consistently. And I would say NXT should have won this category.
To add on to what A said, they also managed to throw shine to TNA, AAA, LFG, and Evolve for additional groups while they do that.
And now Speed. They brought the Speed Championship, which nobody asked for, but still, the Speed Champion. Come on, player. You're doing this in 2 hours, and now SmackDown is going to go to 3, and everybody's like, we don't need it.
We don't need it.
NXT is the perfect place for Speed, though. Yeah, perfect place for Speed.
It is.
All that said, B, how we feel about the promotion of the year?
Okay, I'm going to share this, and then unfortunately, I'm going to have to go because I am not feeling good. I think I had to take too much medication for my allergies, and I'm like, not feeling good. But it's interesting because I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think it should be NXT. I've been thrilled with the crossover with TNA, and TNA has been doing really well, but let's be honest, that is because of NXT that it, like, you know, not that TNA wasn't watch worthy before, but the combination, you just love to see it, and it's elevating everybody, even though they're just still in their titles. However, I want to give honorable mention to AAA, man. When we saw AAA in person, we had never seen AAA before, and it was
phenomenal.
Phenomenal. We were so entertained. And yes, there was some people who came over to fight over there, but you know, from the main roster or whatever. But AAA is got talent. They got the iguana dude got over so big, so fast with this crowd that I wanted to give them honorable mention because I'm so happy for them that they're doing so well and they are so talented, and the stuff they could do in the ring is just bravo. So yes, NXT, but with honorable mention to AAA.
All right, well that's a wrap on B. Thank you, B.
I'm gonna have to go lay down. I'm so sorry, you guys.
No, don't apologize. Thank you for showing up and, of course, gracing us with your presence. It's always
Oh,
good to
you're
have
welcome.
you here.
Enjoy the rest of the show, you guys.
And she looks so lovely, by the way. Look at her. She looks so lovely. I feel like this is coming to America. She looks so lovely. Give yourself a round of applause. You look so lovely.
As B makes her exit, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and move things along to the next category, which is the Promoist, the talker of the year. This one was pretty competitive at first. We had around, I think, 15 people. I had to get it down to 4. So let's find out who wins for talker of the year.
Here are your nominees for the talker of the year. Karrion Kross, Timeless Toni Storm, CM Punk, John Cena. And the winner is CM Punk.
With 50% of the vote, 2,000 CM Punk wins. And I love Punk. Definitely one of the best talkers in professional wrestling history. Karrion Kross should have won this award. Just saying. That was when I remember when you mentioned him, Steven, and he was actually mentioned initially when I first started collecting names, and the votes were coming in. He was in the lead, and I was like, "Ooh, I think he actually might win this." Unfortunately, Punk ran away with it on YouTube and completely surpassed him with 50% of the vote. And I'm not going to hate on it. He's one of the best talkers ever, period, in professional wrestling history. Karrion Kross, he really shook a lot of walls this year. And I feel like when it comes to 2025, I'm going to remember him more for his promo work than I did CM Punk. That's just me personally. I respect the decision. I love CM Punk. That's just me. Steven, how are we feeling about this decision?
CM Punk was totally the wrong choice here. He's a good talker. Punk is an established good talker, much like his heroes like Roddy Piper and stuff. But he had one memorable promo this year to me, maybe two once he started the Braun Breaker feud. But yeah, it was the Thugonomics, and he was doing a bit. He was cosplaying John Cena, so that wasn't even like a true Punk promo. So that wasn't even like authentic Punk. And I hate to break it to you guys, but the authentic Punk we loved from 2014 is dead.
Oh, he's
like
out,
this
man.
this is a man who has found peace in his life, which man to man, I'm so happy for him that he doesn't carry that burden that was so clear on that Colt Cabana podcast. Like, this is a changed man who has found contentment in his life. So man to man, I'm very, very happy for him, because I know how it feels to carry that bitterness around, and then to try to be able to finally lay it down is really great. Cross did the best promo work of his, at least of his WWE and NXT time. I will be transparent. I didn't follow his promo work prior to arriving in NXT, pre-COVID. He did the best promo work he did all year. And it's a tragic, I mean, I use that word loosely because it's wrestling. But he did the best promo work of his career. He became undeniable when that was against permission and paid the price for it. And WWE straight up fumbled him. They just, like, letting him go was just a puzzling decision to me. A corporation of that size not doing their due diligence to just go through facts and figures with him tells me not that they couldn't, but they didn't want to, that they just didn't see him as valuable, and they were wrong. Like, I hope that he pulls a Drew McIntyre and is able to utilize that for his own gain. And then he can make himself appealing to any company that he wants to go to. I mean, Cross, to his credit, even says, I would love to come back. Like, he doesn't seem to harbor any ill will, at least in the right places. But no, oh boy, I'm trying to think of how to say this without being too offensive.
Do it. Just go for
with
it.
Other things. If we could do that for Truth, we could have done that for Cross.
Yep.
And honestly, Cross had more upside to come back than Truth did, because you saw what they did to him. You saw what they did to Truth. You couldn't have done more with Cross. I mean, hell, even you could have sent him back to NXT, and the culling could have actually been interesting. You could have paired him up with Aleister Black. There's so many Cross lookalikes around the roster right now that he was more of a prototype for. I mean, Aleister Black and Zelina Vega are cosplaying Cross and Scarlett right now.
Yep.
And like, and listen, I'm a fan of Aleister Black, and I think this is the most interesting Zelina Vega's been in a minute since she was with Andrade back in NXT. But why not make a faction or something? Pair those two together, do something. And so, yeah, they did Cross dirty. And the fact that he got cut before the end of the year and is still the best promo work, one, speaks highly of Cross, and two, is an indictment on the rest of the nominees as well. And I'm just going to shut up because I talk too much, but I've never Toni Storm is stale to me. I'll just say that.
Oh,
her softcore jokes
that hurt
every week is like, I'm sorry, I'm not 14 years old trying to watch scrambled Cinemax channels on Friday night. Like, I'm a grown man. Like, that stuff doesn't appeal to me. And, it doesn't appeal to a full building either. So, like, I don't know. When she did it, that's an AEW thing, unfortunately. And I said I'd shut up, and I'm not going to. I'm sorry. But they do a thing that's edgy at first. They do a thing that's edgy at first, and then they run that crap into the ground like a bad Saturday Night Live sketch. And you've missed what makes it special. And like, listen, Toni Storm's a wonderful wrestler, and AEW did more for her than WWE did. Far more. But her shtick is old. And I don't mean old Hollywood. It's like, stop. The sex jokes are stupid at this point.
And
like
ain't it
MJF.
sad? Ain't it sad that she's still the best thing in AEW, despite the fact
Well,
that
I'm
just saying.
I'm partial to Harley Cameron, but yes.
Well,
I mean,
yes.
You're still right.
Yeah.
But your point still stands. Yes.
But just to add into what you were saying about Karrion Kross, 98% of the time, yeah, but Kross only had one viral promo. That viral promo, need I remind you, wasn't even on the live show. It was buried on Peacock on that whatever post-show thing that they was doing. That
He
thing
had two viral promos.
Well, yeah.
He had one at the Hall of Fame and then the one you're talking about that led to that second one. Yeah, but still better than the other three. That should tell you something.
Before I let you talk, I just want to give Three Kings one more piece of love here, who is in the league with $41. Karrion was battling the impossible this year. He was cutting the best promos of his career, knowing the end was near, unfortunately. And that's got to sting. But do you believe, that CM Punk was the promoist of the year? Or do you disagree?
I absolutely disagree.
Oh, there it is.
I absolutely disagree. I could not disagree more. I think I like seeing CM Punk, but like Mark by Wrestling said, the CM Punk of old is no more. So we're not going to get that edge, straight edge. We're not going to get that edge anymore. For my money, out of these nominees, the one that I find the most entertaining is actually Toni Storm. I know I'm not a 14-year-old girl. I get it. I too am a grown. I'm a whole man. But I am just so entertained with her her shtick, her accent, what she does. It's a little over the top sometimes, but I'm entertained. She just entertains me, and I enjoy watching her promo. So if I were to say the most enjoyable promo would go to Toni Storm, if I could give that to her. But as far as the best promo goes, I'm gonna agree with just Alyx, and I'm gonna say Karrion Kross is the one that should have won out of these four nominees, because to me, much like you said, with regards to he knew the end was near and he was still pushing through, just like WWE did during the Attitude Era, during the Monday Night Wars. They were programming for their life, for their existence, and they were trying to do their best work. Didn't always pan out, but they were saying, you know what, let's just sink or swim, let's just throw it out there. Kross knew, he said it, he could sense it in the air that it was coming. And he still would give us what he could give us and still put a little edge on it, still give a little bite, a little sting, a little more than he was supposed to in his promos. Unlike what we saw, interestingly enough, on Monday night when you had CM Punk talking to Braun Breaker, and CM Punk grabbed the mic and he was about to speak, and Braun Breaker clearly decided to say something off script, and CM Punk was like, "Oh, I guess we're still talking. Okay, yep. Go right ahead." Like we all saw that, right? And that didn't really even work. I get why he wanted to do it. It didn't work. But with Karrion Kross, he was doing what he could do with what he had, and I cannot say enough how much they fumbled him. And the fact that if it were me, I'd almost be honored and a little upset that you had us being Kross and Scarlett in your hand, and now you've replaced us with Alistair and Zelina Vega. We all see it. Not that we have anything against them, but these are two people that were dismissed, and they've been brought back, and they're going to do what they're asked to do. They're not going to say no. They want a job, and it is what it is, and they're getting a chance to work together. So that's cool. But it's obvious that this is Kross Scarlett 2.0, and it's a shame that they're cutting the promos that really could have gone to Kross and Scarlett, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, I definitely say that Kross should have got this award.
And the thing is, Karrion Kross was giving them storylines to work with. All his promos literally could have been tied into their program seamlessly, and it would have elevated them. His storyline with Sami Zayn was literally Batman and Joker. All he had to do was just weave it in, and they just didn't do it. They didn't want to do it. And so that ultimately sucks that even when he went out of his way to make it work, they didn't want to make it work.
Fumbled.
And they fumbled him. And he goes on the list of all the things they fumbled this year. And just to wrap it up, let me quickly talk about Ronway Nogales' super chat here. Let me do my Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory style here. Who voted for WWE despite some of Triple H's worst booking decisions of 2025? I do NXT. There you go. Speaking of worst booking decisions, Karrion Kross. So, anything else you want to add before we move on?
No, let's do it. Let's get to this next category.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's ready for it because I think he knows what's coming next. We had a lot of them. A lot of returns. We all know what the return of the year is. So if you guys are ready, let's get to it.
Here are your nominees for the return of the year. Alexa Bliss returns at the Royal Rumble. R-Truth returns after being released from the WWE. Brock Lesnar returns at SummerSlam. AJ Lee returns after a 10-year absence. And the winner is AJ Lee returns after a 10-year absence.
Let's light it up, light it up, light it up, light it tonight. Like shooting stars gonna blaze and ignite the sky. Light it up, light it up, light it tonight.
If you thought anyone else was going to win this reward, I am so sorry to disappoint you. There is no way. And let me read you these numbers really quickly. This probably got the most votes out of any other category, 4,000 votes. AJ Lee won with 79%. It wasn't even close. 10-year absence. She's been gone for so long. I predicted that she would show up at Royal Rumble. Remember that? Because we did a stream together, and she was one of my picks to show up. Didn't quite get it right. But I had a feeling we were going to see her this year. And man, when she showed up, big credit goes to Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins for really setting the ground for her to return. It was a great moment. One of the best moments we've seen this year. Probably one of the best moments we've seen this decade. Because I just never thought I would ever see her again. And you know what? I'm happy she's back. She's only had a couple of matches. The, of course, tag team and then the War Games match. I like to see her interact more with the roster just to see how well she's going to fit in when it comes to 2026. But yeah, without question, the return of the year. I'm pretty sure A is going to agree with me. So I'm going to get out of his way and let him take the floor. A, how we feeling about this?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to kind of disagree with this a little bit.
I'm sorry, what? For real?
I'm sorry. I apologize. I love AJ Lee. I do.
Oh, he's serious.
And the fact that she had a 10-year absence and she returned after saying I would never. I would probably say this would be the one. The reason why I'm going to say it's not is because it was hinted at a few different times by CM Punk. He alluded to it, essentially saying right out of the gate when he came back, hey, AJ says hello. Okay, there's no way on God's green earth that would have been allowed if the game plan wasn't to bring her back. You didn't need it. I loved it. I popped. I appreciated it. But there were several moments that were just leading up to it and it not being a surprise. It was still a huge moment. But at that point, I almost kind of expected it. Right, mix the names up. R-Truth, Ron Killings. Let's keep it a buck here.
Yeah.
One tweet went viral in a way nobody expected. Nobody. Regardless of what Triple H says, Triple H, in this instance, I don't know the man, and I want to definitely work with WWE, so I apologize. Please forgive me, but you're gaslighting us, bro. You're straight up gaslighting us. And one of my pet peeves, don't piss on my shoe and tell me that it's raining. Just don't. Just don't. Okay? You're a grown-ass man. Just say, you know what? This didn't go the way that we expected it to go. Clearly, the WWE fan base feels the type of way that we all truly do. And it was a mistake and we brought him back. But you just didn't. You're like, oh, it was all part of the storyline or whatever. Okay, fine. Lie to our faces. Cool. No problem. One tweet went viral. Millions and millions and millions of views, retweets, quotes, whatever the case may be. The man was gone. This shook the industry in a way that they didn't anticipate. And it was really interesting to see how many people, regardless of whether they were tired of his gimmick and all this other business, they loved R-Truth. And the fact that he came back the way that he did, we were hoping, we didn't expect it, because once you're gone in that way. People have come back. Obviously, we just mentioned a couple of people that were dismissed and have come back, but not this quickly and not in this fashion. If this hadn't happened, if this tweet didn't go viral, we wouldn't be seeing R-Truth Ron Killings in the WWE right now. I firmly believe that he would have just been gone. He probably would have come back at some point, like they've brought back many other people. But this really changed something. So that's why I'm going to simply say, as much as I love AJ Lee, I love the fact that she came back. They hinted at it several times. If they had just kept it on the hush, if they just kept quiet about it and they dropped it like Edge at the Royal Rumble, you think you know me. That was a shock after 9 years, and you saw the place rumbled. It was absolutely incredible. That's the kind of moment that we got when R-Truth returned for me. Yeah. For me. Because we didn't expect it, and that's why I'm saying that was the great return.
That's crazy, because I was like dead set on AJ's gonna. I'm not saying that you didn't, but everything you said I agree with. Like, R-Truth really completely forced WWE's hands with that one tweet, which just goes to show you how impactful he was. But just like a lot of things, when they brought him back, I was excited because I'm like, there's your next world champion. That's the guy who should end John Cena's career. Not of course, Cody or Gunther, but like that guy would be perfect. Think about it. He was the jokester. He made John Cena his whole idol, even though he's older than him. Then he comes back to be serious, and that's the guy who takes him out. It was right there. What happened? They brought him back, and now he's just back to being goofy R-Truth.
Exactly. And I'll say this real quick, because I also forgot to mention AJ Lee's original WWE run. She was in the WWE for, I think, 4 years, right? It wasn't even like a 5-6 year run. It was a very short run, but it goes to show you how impactful of a run in such a short span of time it was for her return to be as big as it was. So I don't want to take away from that. The fact that she wasn't in there for 20 years and then was gone and then came back. So that does say something as well. So I did want to mention that.
Well, Steven, what do you think about this result? Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, I'm more aligned with AJ's take on this than the results. I already said earlier in the show that AJ Lee was at the top of women's wrestling at a time where I didn't really care much about women's wrestling. So, like, her return, while I'm happy, obviously that was a sweet moment, and the segment itself was beautiful. I want to give a ton of credit to Seth and Becky for selling that as well. Like, when she came back, it was brilliant. And wish we had gotten more from the four of them, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But yeah, as soon as Punk came back himself, I just assumed it was a matter of time. If she wanted to come back, that she would be back. It just wasn't really as much of a question for me. But also, I didn't think about it a whole lot either, to be honest. because again, she's just not super on my radar in my fandom. Truth, on the other hand, which I'm not going to say I'm some hardcore R-Truth fan either, but he wrangled the will of TKO.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Because we've seen how committed TKO is to bad ideas this year.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
Come on.
and the value of one man to be able to get them to change course is bigger than anything else accomplished on that return list. Because honestly, the Brock return is the antithesis of that. That's a return nobody asked for and nobody was looking for. And they force fed us that. Even to the point where people were chanting for Cross and Triple H was like, you want Brock, huh? Doing his best Vince impersonation. And then all of a sudden they stopped doing panels after that. But, anyway, yeah, Truth, man. And I was shocked at his return for a couple things. One, just I still remember the Sunday morning when I read the tweet because I texted AJ right away. I was like, dude, are you seeing this? And I knew it was legit when Kevin Owens broke kayfabe on Twitter because for whatever reason, I love his Twitter account because he's so, I wouldn't say old school, but he's he's a bit curmudgeonly online. And then he wrote this heartfelt message, and I'm like, something's wrong here. I'm like, and that was maybe the only time this year, maybe other than Cena's retirement, that I saw people from just about every single wrestling organization say something in a unified voice about the value of Ron Killings to professional wrestling. And I mean AEW, TNA, AAA, WCW, old school world class guys, whatever, Lalani freaking Kai, any of them, just all of them having something to say. And, that was just wild to me. So for him to come back, I didn't have high hopes that he was going to be main eventing SummerSlam or anything like that, or whenever it was that he came back. I mean, they basically brought him back and they basically restored the job that they took away from him. I mean, and, which it could be worse, but it could also be better because they could have seen what they had when he came back in this outcry. But nevertheless, Truth was the return for me because of what he was able to accomplish. Because the thing is, TKO and WWE wanted AJ Lee back.
Yeah,
they did. And they didn't want Truth. They got
he
rid
was
of him.
out. That's true.
And their hand got forced. And so that interpretation of events is what is the deciding factor for me. But I don't want to take anything away from AJ, and I understand that a whole generation of people are right in that nostalgia pocket with her now. And this is your, talking like the Goonies, this is your time down here, this is your time to feel the nostalgia feels. And so I totally get that. So it doesn't surprise me that she ran away with it, but yeah, I cannot shake the reality that Truth was able to get one over on this notoriously stubborn corporate entity.
Yeah, TKO could have stayed the course, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Think about that.
And the thing is, the chat's reflecting everything you guys are saying, by the way. Ryan Nagala has $5. Wait, what? I'm sorry, but I respectfully disagree. Gotta disagree with A from someone who was there, who went there live. I go with AJ. If you were there live, I'm pretty sure it's a completely different experience with her return. It must have been crazy. With that being said, too, the Three Kings, Triple H fumbled R-Truth off the fact that he cut his hair and still kept that goofy pattern. He is dead ass wrong for that. You ain't lying about that either. Another one from 98% of the time. This is my bone of contention with WWE this year. Ron Killings coming back after we as fans said, no, Triple H says, I rule, I did that, bow down for the game. Then he does nothing after coming back. Like I said, great return, had me hyped, had a lot of potential, but unfortunately, what did they do with it?
That's the story of the year, isn't it?
That's just WWE, period, if I'm being honest with you.
No follow-up.
But you know what? I don't disagree with what you guys were saying. For me, though, yeah, I agree with the winner. Like AJ returning. R-Truth, you're absolutely right. He was out the door. We forced their hands. Like, all power to the fans and everybody. That just goes to show you how powerful R-Truth is. Nobody a year ago would have ever imagined AJ Lee coming back. It was probably in the back of our heads when CM Punk came back, but at the same time, we heard stories of AJ Lee dealing with mental issues and all that kind of stuff. And she's been gone for so long, it's like, does she still have it? So it was more of a foregone conclusion of AJ Lee returning than R-Truth. Even if he didn't show up at WWE, he was going to appear in AEW for sure. Tony Khan would have signed him immediately. But yeah, I just feel like for me, AJ Lee's return is going to be the one I remember the most. But I love this discussion, and I'm glad we had it, though. Anything else you wanted to add before we move on? I think we're ready to move on then with pay-per-view show of the year. And this one was super competitive as well. Let's take a look at the actual winner, though.
Here are your nominees for the pay-per-view of the year. AEW Double or Nothing 2025. AEW All In Texas 2025. WWE Elimination Chamber 2025. WWE Evolution 2. And the winner is WWE Evolution 2.
Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Can I just say before we talk about this, much respect to the women, because I believe 2025 was carried by female wrestling. And this show emphasizes that without question. One of the best shows this year, one of the best all-female, if not the best all-female pay-per-views, PLE shows ever. This was fantastic from top to bottom. That main event, Rhea Ripley, Iyo Sky with Naomi's cash in, mwah, chef's kiss. I love this show, top. And look, I would honestly give a bit of a nod to Elimination Chamber, which was also fantastic top to bottom. But yeah, I'm not going to dispute this. I love it. I love that Evolution 2-1. It is indeed, the best show of the year by far, WWE, AEW, NXT. AJ, do you agree or disagree?
I wholeheartedly agree. I couldn't agree more. The ladies carried it this year. The ladies did the dang thing this year. And that pay-per-view, PLE, that was just that was everything. It was excellent.
Yeah.
It was absolutely a fantastic PLE. They lived up to the hype. These ladies knew they had to be it. I'm sorry, Jacob Fatu is not here right now. All gas, no brakes with it. They knew they had to come with it, and they absolutely did it. Now, I watched all of these shows. All of these shows were good in their own right. Like I said earlier, AEW's pay-per-views are always a good pay-per-view, but I'm always going to dink them because their pay-per-views are just too dang long. They're too long. It's called wrestling fatigue, and that is what ends up happening when I watch an AEW pay-per-view, especially with 0 hour. And by the end of that match, I'm exhausted. And it's just, I just can't. At least the WWE, there can be a little more concision there. But looking at all the nominees here, I think these are all worthy nominees, but absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the winner is Evolution, 100%.
And Steven, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. To continue the Jacob Fatu sentiment, somebody told these ladies to get in where they fit in, and they fit right in and stole that whole weekend. I was just bringing up the, just to remind you guys, for those of you maybe who haven't watched it since July, I was looking at the card, and this was a fantastic balance too. Not only just an all women's show, but their balance of spotlighting past, present, and future on the card was so perfectly balanced. And then, and also, this was a 7-match show. So the ladies didn't get the 4-match treatment for people who complain about that sort of thing. 7-match show, Becky Lynch, Bailey, and Lyra Valkyria in a triple threat. The NXT Women's Championship, Jordan Grace and JC Jane, which I'll go all day long defending the NXT Women's division. Not that it needs it. Everybody should be on the same page about that. You got a Raw SmackDown NXT Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Title match. The women's tag titles being defended on a PLE. Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, Jade and Naomi with Bianca as the referee. The Battle Royal, I know Battle Royals are Battle Royals, but Stephanie Vaquer shining in that, becoming the number 1 contender. That's her sort of coming out party. And also, now that they're teaming together, it was the first real irresistible force meets the immovable object between Lash Legend and Nia Jax as well. And then all of a sudden they turn into, game recognized game and became totally into that. Right. And like, what is there to say about Naomi, Iyo, and Rhea that hasn't been said by more people? That was just beautiful. Like, it was just, like proved every last inch of praise that they received, they earned in spades. And maybe I'm going right off top of the dome right now, so don't judge me if I upset anybody. Maybe the best main event all year long.
I'm not going to dispute it.
I mean, I'm trying to think what shows headline. I mean, listen, I was partial to Cena and Cody at SummerSlam, but even then I have to wash the taste of Brock returning out of my mouth. So factoring in match and show ending angle, like, that's a tough one to beat.
Honestly, I think that is a great way to end it, because when you said best main event all year in terms of PLE's pay-per-views, even when you include AEW or NXT, nothing comes close. Nothing comes close.
Yeah.
No, because Iyo and Rhea, first of all, those two ladies ain't done.
Oh,
they are Austin and rocking those two ladies. Like, they're buddies now, but Rhea still hasn't beaten Iyo. She still, to this day, hasn't beaten her. So they're coming back. They're coming back to that, So I'm for it, man. And they were cooking with gas before Naomi even showed up. So like I'm for those ladies, man. Anytime they get their shine. I never would have guessed years ago that Rhea and Iyo would be in-ring soulmates, man. But they cook every single time. And and Naomi coming in and wrecking everything was perfect, chaotic Naomi. Like, and so, and she won that title pregnant.
Yep.
Yeah, she did.
She sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stole the show with a baby in her stomach. So really, it was, she had some outside interference, but when you cash in, it doesn't matter.
Don't worry, she'll have that baby and then come back and get the title right back. That's what she said she's gonna do. Even when she's breastfeeding, it's gonna be entertaining. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're down to the final stretch. Final 4 awards. Next up is the tag team of the year. Another competitive category. I'm very curious to know how y'all feel about it. Let's run it.
Here are your nominees for the tag team of the year. Fraxiom, FTR, Brodido, The Hardy Boys, and the winner is Matt and Jeff, The Hardy Boys.
Now look, before y'all go, what year is it? Yes, it is 2025. The Hardy Boys did win this award. 63% of 2,200 votes. I gotta be honest with you. wasn't expecting them to win, but I'm very, very happy they did. They had quite the year, and it wasn't just with WWE, it was with TNA, NXT. They worked multiple promotions this year, and they're still doing it, and they're doing it well. How old is Matt? 50, 51? Jeff's pushing 50? Hey, age ain't nothing but a number if you're still good at it. I loved it. I love what they did across the board in 2025. Love their match against the Dudleys at Bound for Glory. Gotta give that a shout out. That was great. Very nostalgic. And also wrapped up their little long history of of a rivalry. I thought this was quite the year for tag team wrestling. WWE, oh my goodness, how many awesome tag matches did we see this year? That TLC match after WrestleMania stole the show. Should have been at WrestleMania, by the way. And then, of course, the TLC match again at SummerSlam, which was just as good, incredible. Just a great year for tag team wrestling. The fact that the Hardys won lets you know how important and how crazy that they were. And again, they're pushing their 50s, but age ain't nothing but a number. How we feeling about this? Let's go with you, Steven. How we feeling about this result?
I get it.
Right.
Let it also be known that the Hardys are the only TNA talent to win NXT Gold right now.
Yep.
And I mean, clearly we know why, but that's okay. But it still counts. So I get that. Listen, I know I'm not as AEW educated, honestly. Like, if you were to ask me to pick a team from AEW, I would have gone with the Hurt Syndicate. Because they are so Road Warrior-ish. And just like, I know the We Hurt People is a way of life for those guys, but also like, it's going to sound like I'm bagging because I understand Brodido has caught a lot of fire with those guys, and FTR maybe aren't having their best years now. Maybe their best years are behind them. I don't know, but I love who FTR tries to be. Because it's more of a throwback to tag team wrestling as I've loved it. But Hurt Syndicate shows up in AEW and they show the difference between superstars and pro wrestlers. Like it's just they're dominators, right? Now I want to say though, Fraxiom, like, I don't know, maybe last year. I don't know if they maybe won last year. They were my tag team of the year last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing in WWE, especially SmackDown, that all those teams are so good that none of them really kind of stand out for me, like above each other. It's like they're all great, so I can't pick one. So I just want to throw out a little dark horse pick, even though I'm content with the Hardys, is Hank and Tank from NXT.
Nice. Yeah.
Hank and Tank started the year as, if you weren't paying attention, some kind of jobber tag team, but every week on NXT, they would run into Alpha Academy, or the Hardys showed up one week, or Bubba Ray and Devon ended up there one week, and they continue. The Street Profits came one week, and they kept getting mentoring backstage from a different tag team throughout the first half of the year.
Nice.
And they started implementing moves from those tag teams in their matches those weeks. So we saw them try to do like a 3D, try to do a swanton, try to do things like that. Sometimes they'd win, sometimes they'd lose. And this is while Fraxiom was still in NXT. And they were still the tag champions. And eventually, I can't remember if it was the Hardys, but it was a high profile team. So it may have been the Hardys themselves, who were eventually like, hey, stop trying to be like everybody else. Be who you are, which are these two guys who dress like Public Enemy from the old ECW, WCW days, that have the sort of, it's like Heavy Machinery meets Public Enemy, right? Like they're really weird. And they just started sticking to their own guns, and they were the team to beat Fraxiom for the NXT tag titles.
Wow.
Yep.
And they go on, and eventually they lose the titles to Dark State because NXT is still trying to make Dark State a thing. But they take some time off, and then they win the tag titles in Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah. Wow. And they drop them there, and then they come back, and they're back at NXT now. But they had a full-on story arc over the entire year that culminated with them being nobodies into being champions, and they also kind of kickstarted the NXT version of Joe Hendry spontaneously appearing in random places. I want to give them credit for that. But and so anyway, I have in my year-long journey here at Marked by Wrestling, Hank and Tank and JC Jane, we'll get to her later probably, are two people who really grew on me and earned my respect with how they were booked, and how that's the fun thing about NXT is you'll get people like your Stephanie Vaquers and your Julias and any other, your killers like Oba Femi or Javon Evans, but you also get to see the developmentals develop and into something more. And Hank and Tank turned into something more. And I don't know, it was just really fun to watch. So they, that's what it is for me. But
and I wasn't aware it was that elaborate and that intricate.
Oh,
Shawn Michaels really knows what he's doing. That's crazy.
Shawn knows how to book, man. He knows how to book. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yo, hey, how we feeling about the results? Hardy Boys Tag Team of the Year.
I think the entire category, honestly, the last four, I think is a little bit weak. It's a little weak sauce for me, quite frankly. But this is where we are. Like I said, I'm going to do the best I can to accept it. And I agree. Yes, go ahead. You got a butt?
Yeah. So, like, what was your tag team of the year? Did they, because clearly it didn't make the list. Who do you feel is the tag team of the year here?
Is there one?
Is there a tag team of the year?
To be
Uh-oh.
Can I
This wasn't the year for it?
No. I gotta be frank. I gotta be frank with you.
Okay.
I have not loved the tag team division, generally speaking, this year. It's been a little weak sauce for me. So this category is this is the best of the bunch. I accept that because for me it's basically the best of the bunch. But no, I've thought about it long and hard. I've looked at these promotions. No, I think there's a lacking right now in the tag team division, and it's kind of a shame. I mean, there's a point now where I'm kind of forgetting who the tag team champions are, and then that's a problem. That's a problem. But considering the fact that the Hardys are in this category, considering how long they've been in the industry, considering the ups and the downs and the various promotions they've been involved with, and they are once again able to call themselves champion and at one point double champion, that says something for the staying power. And still the crowd is all about it. They're all about it. And anytime you hear their music hit, and they've been able to reinvent themselves, especially Matt Hardy, it's incredible to see. So out of all of these teams, yeah, I think the Hardys are the right call. And that in and of itself is great, but it's kind of sad.
Three Kings is tying in saying the real tag team of the year was Cena and Travis Scott.
Lord.
I also think
Cody Rhodes.
I also think Three Kings gave a shout out to Pure Fusion Collective, by the way.
Oh,
Twitch
shout out to KFC, that two-piece of the biscuit.
By the way, Three Kings is in the lead with $53. He might end up being the new champ by the end of things. Thank y'all so much for being here. We're in the final three. The final three here. Next up is match of the year. Let's just get right to it.
Here are your nominees for the match of the year. AJ Styles versus John Cena at WWE Crown Jewel 2025. Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May, the Hollywood ending match from AEW Evolution. Iyo Sky versus Rhea Ripley from WWE Evolution 2. Iyo Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley from WrestleMania 41. And the winner is AJ Styles versus John Cena from Crown Jewel 2025.
Now, see, this is the thing about having a People's Choice Awards. When you give it to the people, it's out of your hands. I think we can all agree, and I see it in the live chat already, that as much as I love this match, awesome, fantastic match, definitely the best match we got from John Cena this year, this wasn't even in my top 5. I'm sorry, and I love all of you. Thank you for suggesting it, and I'm always going to be unbiased and take it out of my hands. This match was not in my top 5 this year. The top 5 was all the women. All the women from AEW, even NXT, and of course the main roster, WWE, occupied the top 5 spots. My match of the year is that triple threat from WrestleMania. I don't see anything else topping it. It was incredible when I first saw it. The only match that came really close was the main event of Evolution when Naomi cashed in. So those are my 2 top matches. Look, I understand why Cena won, and it's John Cena's final year. And so there's some recency bias with a lot of people, and I respect it. I just disagree with this being the match of the year for me personally. And I don't mean to step on anybody's decision there. I just, and hopefully Steven and maybe even AJ will agree with me here. It's just really hard for me to give anything above that triple threat match at WrestleMania. But that's just me. AJ, how are we feeling about the results of this category?
Crap.
Oh,
Absolute crap. You
damn.
got to be kidding me. Are we for real? Is this a real category?
It's a real category.
Wait. Am I on Punked? Is that still a show?
Yeah.
Because this can't be right.
It was.
Man, I agree with you. I think John Cena's match with AJ Styles is arguably his best match that he had all year. But there is no freaking way. I don't give a rat's behind if this is his retirement tour, if he's on the way. I do not care. Okay, in comparison to these other 3, first and foremost, you all know me well enough to know I always love a little color in a match.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get the ladies willing to bleed for it, I'm all in. Okay. So I love the Toni Storm match. But for my money, match of the year, most entertaining match for me is absolutely Iyo and Rhea with the Naomi cash-in. That is my number 1 match out of these 4. John Cena is a distant.
Not even close. Yeah.
Not even close. I respect you. I appreciate you. Pardon my language. Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. That's crazy. But just to follow up before I give it back to Steven, it is crazy though when you stop and think about how much Cena has had an impact on people this year. Like his match against Cody, to be honest with you, that probably would have gotten closer to match of the year before this one. But people really got emotionally invested in what he did after he stopped being a heel. And when he was doing all of those tribute moves, including Bray Wyatt and Chris Jericho, and I'd be here all day talking about it, that did something to fans. And so I think this match transcends what we expect from typical wrestling. You know what I mean? It's definitely not going to get 5 stars from Dave Meltzer, but fuck Dave Meltzer's 5-star ratings. We're not going to do that today. But yeah, still though, like Steven, like, take it from here. Like, how do you feel about the results?
All right, let's go through these. The AEW thing, like I just politely disagree. That level of hyper violence, like, turns me off from wrestling. I've just seen too many of my favorites die and get crippled. I don't. That's why I don't mess with AEW. Like, I mean, William Regal said it highly eloquently well on Twitter in the past 24 hours. And his sentiment is exactly why I won't let myself get as engaged with AEW's approach to what makes good wrestling anymore. And that's nothing against the performers. They do them. You know, I want people to have jobs and succeed, but I also want them to thrive in life. So like, I don't rock with that. I don't rock with deathmatch stuff. So now that that's out of the way, Cena and AJ was not my pick either, but I'd say it was more than a wrestling match. I think it transcended a wrestling match.
Right.
I was in AJ's studio. We were watching Crown Jewel together at all godly hours of the morning, and Pacific time translated into Australian time for that match, and we were caffeinated up and emotional together for that. Like that was for me. That was Cena's best moment of his entire retirement tour. Him trying to create space for AJ to get just as much love and affection as he did in his own match.
Yeah.
But so ridiculously selfless of him.
Mm-hmm.
The nostalgia fest with the moves was a lot of fun. But we were also in a stretch of Cena's retirement tour where I was no longer guessing if he was going to win or lose. Cena and Cody and Brock a little bit. I was the last time I wasn't sure if Cena was going to win or lose. And so that also takes it out for me. And to a degree, and I said all the things about Evolution a few minutes ago that I did, and I still stand by them, but including Naomi at the end as a cash in does kind of telegraph the ending, even though that was all levels of fire, which leaves me to the WrestleMania triple threat. Need I remind you guys, people were calling Rhea Ripley Rhea Hogan, complaining about her inserting herself into that match. I was one of them. I didn't say Hogan, but I did say, why in the world is she in this match? Bianca won the Elimination Chamber, and Rhea screwed the pooch by dropping the title to Iyo. She didn't have to have that match. And so the story leading up to that match for an old head like me had everything saying, if there's one woman who's walking out of WrestleMania who's not going to be the champion, it's going to be Iyo. They're just giving Iyo a solid because she's been doing the work. She got herself over, and she's a great wrestler. And they're just including her in WrestleMania because she's earned it. And that woman flip emoji'd herself into walking out of WrestleMania, beating both of the two, sorry to use this word, pillars of modern women's wrestling in WWE right now. And she pushed them aside and say, no, ladies, there's three pillars now, and I'm one of them, and I ain't going anywhere. I did not believe for a second Iyo was walking away with that match. So if you can give me a WrestleMania title match, that's one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. And I'm a huge mark for the WrestleMania 20 main event that we're not allowed to talk about anymore.
Right.
Men or women, those three women's chemistry was beautiful. It gave me, I mean, Bianca broke her finger at some point during the match that she's still not back from.
Yeah.
And when Rhea decides to go to WrestleMania, she turns it in, she kicks into a gear that is insane. And Iyo said, bet, I am your soulmate in this ring. So I'm going to match you for everything you do. And that was the best match of the year. Not the best main event of the year because they went on first.
Yeah.
But so I use that language carefully at Evolution. But that's the best match of the year, bar none for me.
And speaking of women, we're now getting into the final two. The next category is Female Wrestler of the Year.
I'm not ready for this.
I don't think I am either. And I made the award category. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's wrap it up very strong with Female Wrestler of the Year starting now.
Here are your nominees for the Female Wrestler of the Year. Timeless Toni Storm. Stephanie Vaquer. Mercedes Mone. Iyo Sky. And the winner is Iyo Sky.
With 60% of the vote, 3,000 votes, Iyo Sky wins Female Wrestler of the Year. A year of nothing but excellent female wrestling, female storylines, female segments. Super competitive category, by the way. It was hard to get it down to a top 4. I want to give some love to the other 3 who didn't win. Stephanie Vaquer had an excellent year. The year she had was unspeakable because she started off like a double champion on NXT, right? Because she was the North American and the women's title, the women NXT champ. Then they shot her up to the main roster, and what did they do with her? She wins the women's world title, which was originally Naomi's. To be fair, if Naomi was here, I don't think she would have won at Paris, but they gave it to her, and she ends the year still the women's world champ. Incredible year for her. I was actually shocked she didn't win Breakout Star of the Year because that would have gotten it for me. I also want to give some love to the other 2. I loved I'm always going to love what Timeless Toni Storm does. That woman is a national treasure. And as much as people don't want to give her credit, 13 belts, Mercedes Moné. I thought her match against Toni Storm at All In was, if not the best match on that show, definitely one of the best matches. I feel like people are lightening up on her due to her going on a losing streak. You're not going to outdo Iyo Sky. If I had to do a overall Wrestler of the Year category, which I didn't do, Iyo Sky would win it. If I was to pick like an overall Wrestler of the Year, it would definitely be Iyo Sky. Best match at WrestleMania, best main event, best matches, period. Her title reign was garbage because she only defended it once and then lost it to Naomi. But as a wrestler inside the ring, no one comes close. No one came close. And so 100%, she is my female wrestler of the year. But AJ, how we feeling about this category?
I think you're muted, AJ.
Oops, sorry about that. This is definitely a tough category. I saw a comment earlier that said if Naomi had stuck around, if Lil Jimmy didn't put Naomi on hard times, we would still have her in here doing the dang thing. But I again, sticking with the category of the nominees here, I will simply say I agree. I think Iyo Sky is the clear winner out of all these ladies. Mercedes Moné, 13 belts, 14 belts, 100 belts, doesn't matter. Mark by Wrestling said it, all the belts except the one that matters. And that's just, I don't care how many belts you collect. I really don't. And most of them look like stuff you got from Toys R Us, which is not even a thing anymore. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Okay, so it really doesn't matter how many belts you collect, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you are getting more people lightening up on her, like you said, because she is now on a losing streak. It just was ridiculous, and I'm hoping that it has a payoff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many belts she's won in this year. I don't really feel like she fits in this category. I think there were some other contenders that actually would have edged her out, quite frankly. But out of everybody, I think all the ladies did some of their best work this year. But Iyo Sky for sure, just in her in-ring abilities, even with her, I'll have to say it, her limited mic skill. She's not fantastic on the mic, and that's just a language barrier kind of a thing. And that seems to be a thing with some of the Japanese wrestlers more so than I would like to see. I would like to see them kind of do like a Stephanie Vaquer, take a little time, take a couple of classes and just kind of bone up. I think Asuka did that a little bit. Her English has gotten a little bit better on the mic.
Right. Yeah.
I still love their bilingual when they go into their Japanese or native language. I love it when they cut a promo like that, but you still have to really kind of connect. And I think even with her limited mic skills, Iyo Sky is able to connect with the audience in a way that it just sort of transcends the language. They see something in her, this genuineness in her, and her in-ring ability is just phenomenal. So I'll agree.
How you feel about it, Steven?
I'll be honest, I'm shocked. I was expecting Mercedes Moné to win this category. And I was trying to prepare myself to make a statement.
crash
And
out.
now I feel, yeah, exactly. And now I'm feeling so emotionally disarmed right now. I'm like, now I don't have to rant. What am I going to say? I will say this. Yeah, Iyo is incredibly consistent. Of these four, I think that's the right choice. Yeah, Mercedes. I mean, AJ said what I've said about her, and to be fair, from what I'm seeing from afar, it seems like winning every belt except for the one that matters might be kind of the point with her story. Which, which I was complaining about it months before they started revealing that. But that being said, that's actually a pretty salient, well thought out story especially for AEW, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And so, maybe she'll get there one day. That being said, I think there's and this is not just Mercedes, a lot of wrestlers in 2025, there has been a real unhealthy obsession over belt collecting. With multiple wrestlers this year.
It's been going on for years now. It's been going on for years.
I've complained about it quite a bit. You've had 3 to 5 wrestlers in NXT alone who were multiple belt holders this calendar year. And on that note, I'd like to be just slightly hypocritical and give a little bit of advocacy for JC Jane, who was not a finalist in this category. JC Jane started out the year as the weakest memory of Toxic Attraction between Mandy Rose and Gigi Dolan, who are both at home washing their tights, to quote Jack Nicholson's Joker. And she's still around. And one of the finalists in this category, Stephanie Vaquer, she was a 2 belts. And who beat her? JC Jane.
Wow.
And center packing. And then JC Jane is still, to this day, the only woman to simultaneously be NXT champion and TNA champion at the same time.
Okay.
The men didn't do that.
Nope.
She did that. She dropped the TNA title back to Ash by Elegance. Prayers for her, because I'm not sure that she might be retired now. She had to relinquish the title. Drops the belt briefly to Tatum Paxley at Halloween Havoc. Already got it back again. So she's a 2-time women's champion. And her story arc after beating Stephanie Vaquer for the year of 2025 was, I'm going to disprove this notion that NXT's commentary has put out that I am the most beatable women's champion in NXT history. And she ran through them all.
Wow.
And she got better in every single match. She's got now listen, she might have one of the most obnoxious promo voices. And I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's the voice God gave her.
Probably on purpose.
But it works. It works for heel heat for her. And she her moves, her work has consistently grown. She is a nasty striker of a wrestler. She's got 2 signature moves. She's got a knee, just a knee to the face, and like a spinning back fist, which is right up there with Lola Vice or Julia. And it's come along in time. And, she's had the heat of having, lackeys with her, and stuff to maintain that title reign. But she honestly, she really proved a lot to me this year. And I won't go as far as to say I'm a fan, because she is an obnoxious heel, but I respect her. I respect her so much. And if Shawn Michaels thinks she could be a simultaneous 2 world champion for the majority of the year, that's saying something. Also, I just want to give one more. This is a history lesson real quick. When her and Gigi Dolan broke up, Shawn Michaels, I think Shawn was booking at that point already.
Yeah.
They basically did the barbershop window segment
Oh, I remember that.
with her kicking Gigi through the door.
Totally Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Totally.
So he clearly sees a little bit of himself in her. In that. So I'm not going to argue Iyo wasn't the best pure wrestler when they decided to actually put her in the ring and let her wrestle. She never let anybody down. And also, again, Iyo started this year as an afterthought, and now she's a main character. And she also might have one of my favorite current ring poses.
Oh, everyone loves that.
Modern day right now. And it warms my old man heart when she pops that flip and it's like a packed stadium and you see the entire hard cam side just waiting to do it with her. So yeah, I'm all cool with Iyo, but I had to take time to glaze JC a little bit because she deserves it.
Well, let me give her some glazing too, because it takes a lot for Shawn Michaels to put that much faith in you. And what I will give to JC Jane is this, because I have been watching her. Every time I saw her, she just got better and better and better. And I think that's why he gave her the ball, because he trusted her. He told her probably backstage, if I give you this ball, you need to come with it. And she stepped up to the plate. So it just goes to show you how great of a booker Shawn Michaels is and how much that roster is willing to meet the standard that he sets for them, which says a lot about Shawn Michaels.
He has an eye for talent. Yeah. I mean,
oh my God, he found Oba
because
Femi.
there's been so many times, Oba's notwithstanding, that it's been clear he's about to push somebody, and I'm like, really? That one? And then 4 or 5 weeks later, I'm like, my bad, Shawn.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's something Triple H used to do in NXT. Like, he would do that too, where I'm like, okay, really, Triple H? And then it's like, oh, okay, I wasn't aware to your game. And now Shawn Michaels is doing it now. And so
yeah,
hey,
I was not familiar with your game. Exactly.
You like to see it. So really quickly, before we get to the final award, Three Kings, I think, is going to run away with the new International Championship. So congratulations, Three Kings. He has said he wants to defend it on SmackDown. So every Friday night, he'll be defending it. Iyo beating Rhea for the belt on Raw before WrestleMania is one of the biggest upsets this year, too. An incredible moment. I agree with you.
We all thought we knew. We all thought we knew that night. And shoot, I was wrong. I've never been happier to be wrong.
Me either. I was so happy for her when she won. And I was so happy when she won at WrestleMania too, because I was scared to death they were going to give it back to Rhea. And I said, don't do that to Iyo. Please don't do that to her. And they didn't. And now, whatever they do with her going forward, they can't take away the fact that she's one of the most popular wrestlers today, if not the most popular wrestler. So
I'd argue they spent this year making her a made woman. So now it won't matter as much how many more titles she holds. She is being viewed shoulder to shoulder with Rhea now. Maybe she doesn't get the loud of a pop as Rhea does. Who does? But they're not looking her like a second rate. Oh, well, she's a good Japanese wrestler. No, she's just a WWE superstar now, which I don't mean to say that taking away from her talent, but the fan base has elevated her to her contemporaries in that space. She is shoulder to shoulder with Bianca and Rhea and among the best now in the perception.
With that, gentlemen, let's finish it up. Male Wrestler of the Year. That's in it strong, ladies and gentlemen.
Here are your nominees for the Male Wrestler of the Year. The Ruler, Oba Femi. Hangman, Adam Page. Konosuke Takeshita. John Cena. And your 2025 Male Wrestler of the Year is...
He is the greatest of all time.
John Cena.
Out of respect, this is his final year. I'm happy that John Cena can now end his final year the way he wants. I understand why this choice won. Recency bias be damned. I don't know if that was going to be my pick. I know that he wasn't going to win it because of what he did. Gunther, should have at least been in the top 4. Gunther should have been in there. It's kind of hard to not argue that Gunther wasn't the superstar of the year here. On top of the fact that, yes, he did end the careers of Goldberg and he made John Cena tap out. He also beat Jay for the world title again. A moment that, once again, gotta bring up AJ losing his mind. That was great for me. Maybe not so much for him. But yeah, Gunther should definitely be at least in the conversation. But believe it or not, he was nowhere close. John Cena ran away with it because people wanted to celebrate him. And I don't know if that... See, I don't want to get too much into it because for me, when I think about Wrestler of the Year, I specifically, yes, promos and all that kind of stuff matters, but I think about who had the best moments, who had the best matches, who had all of that. I don't know, y'all. I just kind of feel like Gunther would have been my top pick, but I'm curious. AJ, you see the results. We understand why he won. Despite that, do you agree with this result?
I'll try to be as succinct as possible. Again, what's the criteria? What is the criteria here? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? We're talking about John Cena's retirement. Okay, let's talk about John Cena's retirement year. It sucked. Okay?
Oh,
I hated it. I hated it. Okay, I hated it. Okay, it was fine to have him come back. Listen, we the only thing we got different for him was turning into a heel, and that heel run was booty. It was straight booty. Now I don't know. I wanna assume that he wrestled like an old man getting into a bath on purpose, but I'm looking at everything in toto. Okay, the package that was presented. I talked about this as well. You had John Cena, you've got Dwayne Johnson coming from Hollywood. They've now got this Hollywood experience. Dwayne Johnson he's part of the PGA. If you see his movies now, it says producer, it's PGA. So you have the creds now. You know about looking at scripts. You know about what it takes to tell a good story. I don't know what the heck happened with John Cena's retirement tour. I really don't. And I'm hoping we get some better insight and like maybe WWE Unreal, and we really get to the nitty gritty about what happened here. I don't know if we ever will, but the John Cena retirement tour was fumbled. It was fumbled. It was fumbled. It was fumbled.
Yeah.
And John Cena did the best he could with what he had, but John Cena also had a hand in it. This is not just some guy going, hey guys, whatever you want me to do. No, he's like, this is what I want to do. I'm willing to work with you. I need you to work with me. And The Rock is also that way because they've reached that strata of superstardom in the WWE that they can call the shots like that. Not everybody can. Not everybody can, but they can. They have a hand in how things are going to go. And for my money, okay, he comes in here in the beginning of the year and it was what it was. And then he turns heel and we get the whole thing and then all that nonsense that went nowhere. And he has this run for about 4 or 5 months as a heel. And it just sucked. It just sucked.
Yeah.
You're saying that you all don't deserve a new clothes. You don't deserve a new theme song, but you changed this. This was a black screen with white letters. That was different. So you change that, but you don't change anything else. Doesn't make any sense. And then you go back to being a face. You still keep that for some inexplicable reason. And then you go right back into doing that. Your about face was extremely too jarring. It just didn't make any sense. Now he finally wrestled. It took him 6, 7, 8 months, whatever it was, for him to finally wrestle like the shades of the old John Cena, which I appreciated, but it just was, for me, it was too little, too late. I don't care about the nostalgia of John Cena at this point. I don't care about what you did. And now you went into your last match with Gunther and you turned, sir, you turned on your very core values that you had for the last 20 years. You tapped out with a smile. I understand that you thought it was a cinematic moment, and I said specifically, it was not correct. It doesn't translate the way you think it's going to translate. The WWE television is not a movie on the big silver screen. It looked weird. We all saw it. We all collectively turned our head like Scooby-Doo was like, huh? What are you doing? Smiling like that. And then when he let go, then he all, oh, no, bro. No. I love you for what you did for the last 20 years, but this last year was absolute trash for me. And I do not believe that he should have won this category. And I'm not going to give it to you just because. I'm not. You wrote a bad script. You wrote a bad script. And I reject it. I reject this entire year. Should have gone to Oba Femi.
98% of the time agrees with you. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Cena? Oh, my God.
Should have gone to Oba Femi.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the rant of the year from AJ. I loved it. Thank you for giving it to us here in Alex's World, ladies and gentlemen. With that said, Steven, how are we feeling about this?
Yeah, John Cena was the main character of professional wrestling in 2025. That much is clear, but come on. Best wrestler. Really, guys. Really. To quote his one rival that didn't get a one-on-one match with him. Really? Really? Had to settle for Joe Hendry. Really? Now, here's the thing. And I can't. There's others. I could think of three. I could think of a different four. Honestly,
go for it.
That I would put. I agree with you. I think Gunther is in the conversation
for sure.
He never left the top of the card all year long when he was present, and he put down Goldberg. Thank you, Gunther. He put this retirement tour that we have hated to rest. Thank you, Gunther.
Thank you again, Gunther.
He made us all make peace with Jey Uso's failed singles push before maybe we were ready to accept it. Thank you, Gunther. And he also might have given me the gif of the year the night after he retired Cena, where he's staring out the car window going like this and then cracks himself up and just goes, oh, and just waves his hand in front of his face like the guy who made the ultimate dad joke.
Oh my goodness.
So Gunther's in there for me. The next one I want to bring up, we've talked about him earlier, is Javon Evans.
For Wrestler of the Year?
Wow. Yeah. Now that might seem a little controversial because he lost like every title match he had. But every time the bell rang, I could not look away from the screen.
Right.
And this man cooked in NXT, on SmackDown, on Raw with Gunther, by the way, on Saturday night's main event, in TNA, in AAA, show stealer wherever he went. And if that's not at least an argument for Wrestler of the Year, I don't know what is. Oba Femi, total domination all year long, and something that people they see, they see the no bread, no water, just meat of Oba Femi, and they see a Brock Lesnar in waiting. But somebody said I have a bias towards NXT. Well, you're not watching the show. There's a reason why it gets better ratings than Dynamite every week. Oba's promo game has jumped leaps and bounds all year too. He cuts promos like freaking Thanos. Like, he's not trying to hurt your feelings. He's just telling you the truth. He's like, you have dreams, but when you step in the ring, your dreams are going to die. Like, damn. He straight up said that to freaking Miles Bourne, like earlier this year, which was dope. And he did kill his dreams. And then lastly, someone is there's a quality, and then I'll shut up because it's been a long night. And thank you guys for having me and everything. I really appreciate it. Something that means the world to me and getting me to really be passionate about a particular wrestler is someone who looks like they're trying to hurt you, but they're not. So Gunther is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Oba Femi is one of those guys. And the last one I wanted to mention, we only got a few months from him because he came in late this year, but Ilya Dragunov.
Oh my goodness. Good
When
pick.
you get in the ring with someone, the name of the game is not to hurt you. It's to look like they're trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
And Ilya and Gunther particularly, good Lord have mercy. I want to pray for those men throughout the match. And there's probably a little bit of stiffness going on there anyways, but that is the name of the game, is to look like you're hurting each other, not to actually do it. So anyway, any of those guys would have been it for me. I can see the case for Gunther because Gunther or Oba, either way, because they both had sustained dominance throughout the entire year. But yeah, Gunther's domination was more high profile though. So yeah, I'd probably lean Gunther.
Let me just say this about Oba. I think by the end of 2026, we're going to see his name again in this category. And I think, and I have a good feeling about this, he might be someone that wins. If WWE books him how he was booked on NXT throughout 2026, forget about it. It's his show.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever SmackDown, Raw, whatever show he goes to, if they book him like Brock Lesnar, the next, or even not even like Brock, I got to stop saying that, like Oba Femi, who's better
an unbeatable
than Brock
monster.
Yeah, I have a good feeling that he might win this award next year. But the fact that he is even being discussed as Wrestler of the Year should tell you how great he was. And he was on NXT for literally the entire year, except for Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah. And when he walked out, what did DC do? Ooh, they didn't even need any coaching.
They knew exactly
I want to give a shout out to JJ Bulldog too. Drew McIntyre might have been the most disrespected talent of the year this year. He talked about the deserved better award. Is Drew McIntyre for sure.
If he doesn't win the championship next Friday, I am going to lose my mind live on stream.
I don't know if he ever will. If he doesn't now, if not now, then when?
You're right.
Because we're talking about Oba, we're talking about Braun Breaker, we're talking about like all these guys waiting in the wings. If they don't do it now, man, when are they going to do it?
You also got Jacob Fatu coming back, who I already know that when he's back on screen, forget about it. So if you don't,
we've already said Gunther needs the big one.
Yep.
Too. You know,
ladies and gentlemen, what a stream! We're going on 3 hours and 3 hours and 30 minutes, and I loved every single minute of it, and I hope you did too. I want to thank both A and B Convos. B unfortunately had to leave earlier, but A stuck through it. I want to thank him. I want to thank, of course, the wrestling historian, Marked by Wrestling. Before we get out of here, first off, any final words about the categories? Any final words that you want to give to the fans before we have you do your shout outs? I'll start with you, A. Anything you want to say about 2025 overall?
I will simply say that, as far as the categories go, these are always going to be controversial, like you said in the beginning of this, even before we did this. You can't please everybody. There's always going to be somebody's favorites. There's always going to be the controversial picks. There's always going to be the controversial winners. That's what makes it so fun, is that we all have our favorites. We all have our thought on this. At the end of the day, it's just pro wrestling. I'm not going to get into too much of a twist about it, to be perfectly honest with you. But the thing that I will get into a twist over, and I will die on this hill until there is no breath left in these lungs, I'm all about storytelling. I watch professional wrestling because I just like the in-ring action and the stories that are told in the ring and outside. And when you take these stories as a filmmaker person myself, and you just don't follow through. You don't have proper storytelling. You don't have, it's very basic, a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's a basic structure of any story. And consistently just not following through. And it bums me out. It takes me out of the reality of what it is that I'm watching. And so that goes across all promotions. If you're doing this, but I'm really going to highlight WWE because they've been really at the forefront more than anything, it just is very upsetting, and it hurts at the end of the day, the very things that you're trying to do. You're trying to have these superstars and these wrestlers get over with the fans. And if you are not telling good stories, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt your business. It's going to hurt us as fans overall. And I just wish that in 2026, they would sort of right that ship a little bit, really buckle down and knuckle down on their storytelling, and just keep entertaining the fans in a much broader way. But as far as these categories go, it is what it is. It was what it was. I definitely disagreed with some, agreed with others. I can't wait to see what happens next year.
And what about you, Mark by Wrestling? What are your final words as we end 2025?
Well, it's an absolute pleasure just to be a part of the conversation. I want to say thanks to the chat for being so lively, and you guys for giving plenty of fodder for us to talk about. I do want to say just one quick thing about a particular performer I don't think we mentioned at all tonight. So earlier I was talking about CM Punk and how he's changed, in his life, and how he seems to have kind of found some contentment. And maybe that means those of us who love grumpy old Punk don't get to see him as much anymore. But it had me thinking about another performer who had been through it and seems to have gotten a new lease on their gimmick, so to speak. And I'm so happy to have witnessed the 2025 of Charlotte Flair, who started off so much in the pits. Like, she came back at the Royal Rumble. She got the return pop. She wins the Royal Rumble. And then that god awful mess of a feud with Tiffany Stratton while she was going through her divorce. Just terrible, terrible stuff. To see her come alive with this angle and team she's done with Alexa Bliss. I've criticized her for years, all in good nature, criticized her booking, I should say.
Right.
That she needs more of an identity than I'm a Flair, and that means I'm the number one contender. Like, that's all they've booked her as for like a decade. And now she's actually looks like she's having fun on TV. She almost can't hide. She almost can't hide the fact that she's liking her job or that she's finding joy in life. And that just makes me happy to see for her, because like part of that unraveled a little bit in some of the various obstacles she was trying to overcome, not just her personal stuff, but the injuries and all that kind of thing. And it's just really cool to see her have the humility also to like not have to be the woman right now, because women's wrestling is such an embarrassment of riches when it comes to good performers right now. She can afford to establish some prestige and credibility to women's tag teams. You see Bayley doing that too. And I know there are some diehard horsewomen fans that are not happy about either one of those things. But seeing that glow up kind of happen, I think that's really cool. Like that the crowd very quickly was sick of Charlotte already when she came back, and that a little bit of bliss sprinkled on her turned all that around. And when they actually like took weeks to actually hug each other, in a match, it was very Daniel Bryan and Kane, very Team Hell No stuff. But you know what? What's old is new again. And it's been 10 years since we've had that gimmick. So why not? I don't know, man. It warmed my heart a little bit. And so we didn't talk about Charlotte at all tonight. So I was just kind of like, you know what? Good for you, Charlotte. I hope 2026 is better to you than 2025 was. I think she's earned it.
I think 2026 is going to be better for both for you and this stream. And I think 10,000 subscribers is not enough for you, Steven. I hope you double that by the end of next year. Thanks, and A&B Convos, I'm expecting 100 by the end of next year. With the way that you guys are rising, you might not have been able to cut your dreads this year, AJ, but hell, you might want to get those clippers ready by 2027. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for, again, being a part of my day and being a part of Alyx's world. You know what? Let me plug your channels. You guys have said enough. I don't want you guys to say anything else because I want to be the one to put you guys over for being here because I have enjoyed this stream so much that you guys have earned my blessings. Once again, the premier reaction channel here in the YouTube space, A&B Combos. They are live Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, all PLEs. And then, of course, we got Marked by Wrestling, the man with the plan, who is live for NXT every Tuesday. Hopefully, maybe one day he'll be live for PLEs as well. Just putting that out there. Be good for your numbers.
We're trying to grow consistency on PLEs. We're getting there.
And then I also want to give a quick shout out to B, who couldn't stay throughout the stream, but love her. Definitely somebody that has been a good friend to me, as well as AJ, of course. But hopefully she's doing well. She had to leave because of, what was it, allergies or something else she took? Hopefully, whatever it is, she'll be doing okay.
Yeah.
And then you can find both their channels down in the description box. If you're following me, you better be following both of them because you're missing out if you're not. No offense to JD, no offense to Solid Monster or Denise Salcedo, but you don't compare to the Coalition. I'm just saying. No offense.
If you want a Braves fan who doesn't complain all the time, come follow me. Like I'm much nicer. I'm much nicer disposition than JD. God bless him.
Oh, Lord. Thank y'all so much for being here. As we follow out, do all the YouTube things, like the video, subscribe, and click that bell to catch all my content when it comes out. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Donate using PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and Venmo. Congratulations to Three Kings, the new Super Chat International Champion. He will be defending his belt every Friday night on SmackDown. Unfortunately, KB Brown could not be here to defend his belt, but he might win it back. So you just might have to tune in for that. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you all so much for being here. This is Just Alyx, Marked by Wrestling, and A&B Combos signing out right here in Alyx's world. A place that is, was, and forever will be a safe space for wrestling fans like you. When you're when you're